Oh, yes, and we are live back on Tuesday night, Gambler Motorsports Topside Tuesdays. This is Patrick Morrison with SimTrax Broadcasting coming to you live here on the 17th of January. Happy birthday to my brother out there. Hopefully he is able to tune in tonight, but tuning in, appreciate everybody out there joining us so far. Joseph Canellis, I see you say you're going to miss some more races, but appreciate you supporting me out there in the chat. All right, bud, awesome. Let's go get them dogs. We'll see most of those dogs in the truck race tonight, but first, Pro Late Models is where we're starting tonight. Already taking a peek at our points leader in the 218 out there. Kurt Schatzer, definitely he has been on the move. We'll actually go over those standings here in just a moment with the AJ Custom Creations standings. Proud sponsor, is a proud supplier actually of the Monday Night Madness Outlaw Sprint Division Series trophies for this season as we go ahead and take a peek at our point standings here so far. Kurt Schatzer with competing in 5 races is leading by 382, and he's definitely got a good leg up here on Jeffrey Kemper, who's sitting in second with 327, and Terry Landis at 310 sitting in that third position. A lot of guys are starting to get spread out pretty well. Heading into that chunk, I do want to mention last week's winners was the points. So points leader was Kurt Schatzer sitting in first, Jeffrey Kemper in the second. And actually, Terry Landis ended up 10th last race, but that is an okay spot for him. He moved out of second down to third, and Kemper moved from fourth up to second. That moves us straight on into where we are so far here in the Flatline Racing Bodies qualifying session. Some of you guys may know about Flatline Racing Bodies. They are a quality racing body produced by former NASCAR Regional Short Track Champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Let's take a quick look at some of our fast times out there when these guys go ahead and get turned around. I know I haven't been able to talk to you a whole lot about actually where we are here tonight. Don Martin's Lernerville Speedway here in Sarver, Pennsylvania. So definitely something to take a look at when it held its first races at this 4/10 of a mile track back in 1967. So this track has definitely been out here for a good while. They hold a lot of tracks out here, the 410s, the super late models, and the big block modifieds. But what we're looking at is the pro late models here so far. Right now, Brandon Templeton with a fast time out there here during the qualifying session. Kurt Schatzer, we see him driving off the track, and that's something you'll notice about this track as well, is that little hump you see right there. There is nothing along the back chute or along turn 3 and 4. Actually, the only place there is any wall is on the front stretch to protect the fans. But we're taking a look at Aiden Young, last season's champion winner here in the Pro Lates. He's missed a bunch of races here so far. I know he's got some fire duty coming up, and he's having some trouble making some of these rounds here, but right now sitting in second place. He is behind just a little bit here. Let's see if he can squeeze us another time. He may be spending a little extra time seeing if he can narrow down a better angle here. All right, now Brandon Templeton still holding it. Isaac Salas in the number 5, sitting third. Kurt Schatzer sitting fourth, and Jeffrey Kemper into the 5th position. Right now, the only person on the track out there is Aiden Young in the 69 Coolray machine, part of Gambler Motorsports, proud owner of the Young Gun Creations. So if you guys are out there looking for a paint job, don't forget, get a hold of Aiden Young, or you can find Young Gun Creations up there on Facebook, and he'll be able to hook you up with some sweet paint jobs out there for sure. Looks like Aiden Young is going ahead and ducking on off. Qualifying time should be up here momentarily. That's going to do it for us. Let's go ahead and get right to it. That brings us up to our first heat. Let's take a look at the grid. Jeff Barker, Brandon Dittmer in the front row. Jeffrey Kemper and Isaac Salas sitting second row. Randy Shreves and Terry Landis third row, with Nathan Aldrich bringing up the rear of this field. Odd position in this track. Everybody kind of starts off the track instead of down pit road. Well, actually, they're down pit road. They don't start out onto the track. But we'll see them get out there and hopefully put down some solid times here. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek there, get everything all pulled up, and taking a look at our first heat sponsor. Of course, that is Langton Mechanical. You guys, you know them. You've heard about them before, but I love mentioning them every single time, and they are a second-to-none heat and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area. They promise their customers that their own professionally trained Langton specialists will be there personally every step of the way. They guarantee their customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of their heating or cooling system. And every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service that that you make is even backed 100% by Langton Mechanical. Right now, Brandon Dittmer is the man on the move here so far in the 83. I know he's going to be looking to see if he can get a solid shot here out the gate on that outside line before Jeff Barker gets too far away. Now, I will admit, Jeff Barker does get some solid times here so far, getting pulled away immediately on most of these runs here. He just can't seem to hold it, but we'll see if Jeff Barker can get a solid shoot out here as they head around. One more time, Barney will go ahead and switch that caution flag out for the green one here, and we'll be underway. No drivers of the week here posted yet so far, so we're going to double them up next week for you guys. When I see you guys next time, this is the halfway mark of the season. So this being week 6, we'll head to week 12, and then week 13 should be winter series, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Barker, Dittmer, front row. Let's see how he get it done under green flag in heat 1. Dittmer, like I said, making sure he got a solid start here. Outside line is going to be the favorable line here. Isaac Salas joins him in the same thinking. 1 and 2 they go. So Isaac Salas has moved up 2 positions already, sitting second. Jeff Barker, here we go. Contact, oof. So he will be starting from the back of the pack here, heading into the feature. Let's rotate back up to the front where Dittmer's trying to hold off Isaac Salas in the 05. Isaac Salas still sitting solid second here. Jeffrey Kemper looking to make his moves. Looks like a solid paint job out of him. That looks pretty new out of that 181, if I'm not mistaken. That should be a Leon Guns Creations paint job that we see there. I believe we mentioned that before. Looking pretty solid there. Not too shabby. Oh, man, as he almost makes contact here with Terry Landis in the 161. A couple more laps for these guys to get around, but it looks like Isaac Salas might have to kind of tuck tail and assume for a second position because Brandon Dittmer's got this heat locked up. Just under a quarter of a second off the back bumper here. Contact is made. Looks like Randy Shreves bumps the back of Kemper here. As they head down the back chute, Terry Landis holding them off. And it's interesting to see Terry Landis riding so high this time. Quick check up here with Isaac Salas going for the slider here. 83 of Brandon Dittmer says, no way, Jose. One line only at this track. You're going to dial back and sit for a second place. Dittmer's going to take the win here. Let's rotate to Terry Landis, who's still holding off Jeffrey Kemper. Kemper off the table here. But Kemper, with that move, flies from 4th, and Randy Shreves for 4th, and Kemper falls down to 5th. Boy, that is an awesome run that time. Woo! All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our next starting grid here for Heat 2. Connor Ross and Joseph Grandy starting this front row. John Hine, the professor, sitting 3rd, with Kurt Schatzer, our points leader, sitting 4th. Zach Chapman 5th, Patrick Spangler, Triple Crown winner, in 6th, and Bob DeGood bringing up the back end of the field here. So these guys, a lot of fast drivers out here so far. Right now, Grandy, Hine, Schatzer, and Chapman, and Spangler. This is going to be the insane run. I'm not saying Connor Ross or Bob DeGood don't have it in them to do it, but right now, these are the fastest guys I've seen on the track in a long time, and they're going to be putting down some solid times here tonight. Let's take a quick look as they're coming off the off pit road there to get ready to get this done. That brings up our Heat 2. Brought to you by Venom Race Designs. Venom Racing Team is here by the C2C, actually part of C2C here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about them. It consists of some of those guys from all ages and parts of the U.S. You recognize some familiar names like you saw in the last heat. Isaac Salas, Brian Lawson, Kevin Davis, Mark Gilbert, Malachi Smith, Charlie Weaver, and Gary Sigelkow will most likely see in the Asphalt League. In the trucks here tonight, or just to name a few. Venom Racing is a proud sponsor of the Coast2Coast Racing League's 358 Modified Division. Holding on to the 358's pretty solid there was Isaac Salas. But he's trying his hand, going a little bit bigger here. See if he can get some solid runs here so far. See how Zach Chapman's doing back here in the Gambler Motorsports. I got a couple of those guys, if I'm not mistaken. I believe 3 of them are out here. Connor Ross, John Hine, and Zach Chapman. with Gambler Motorsports, so they're each going to be trying to knock each other out here. But hopefully all in good standing here is Connor Ross and Joseph Grandy here. Right now that 35's got to get a good launch before Grandy gets the better line. 35 has to start with an immediate slide job, rotates up the track. John Hines sees it, underneath he goes. Back goes Connor Ross, first to fifth in a blink of an eye. That puts Joseph Grandy into the lead. Patrick Spangler sitting third. John Hine on the cutoff spot, sitting fourth. And it looks like Zach Chapman trying to find a line here, not really seeming to stick for him too good. But right now, too good is Bob DeGood, still sitting seventh back there. He may have to do a fight a little bit harder in the feature to get his way battled back toward the front. But let's say toward the front, Patrick Spangler sitting third in the 39, right behind Kurt Schatzer. So 1, 2, and 3, Grandy, Schatzer, and Spangler so far halfway through this race. Starting on the lap 4, John Hines kind of picking his area here, and I've seen this before. John Hines winning the first race of the Pro Late Model season this year. He's kind of missed a few races himself, but he's definitely looking to get a lot more behind the wheel, sends it a little to the bottom. I can't blame John here, really, in this heat, trying to see if he can find another line here, because right now, if these guys are going to be single file, if you have paced 1 and 2, like Brandon Templeton, he moves straight to the A feature. Top line's going to be where you want to be. And Patrick Spangler is trying to prove otherwise here as we see him slide to the bottom here, but no can do. Patrick Spangler will be third. So Grandy, Schatzer, Spangler, and Hine 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chapman to good, and it looks like Connor Ross fell off down to 7th. 10-second gap between the guys in the beginning and the end, so a lot of movement by all these guys. That is going to bring us to our warm-up. And this warm-up kind of gives these guys a little bit of a chance to do exactly what we just saw John Hine doing, as he was kind of poking around out there, so getting a good feel out there for the track, and seeing if that low line will ever come in. Because once that cushion wears away, for a lot of these drivers, they're on that top side, it just gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and the heavier these cars get, it's just so little room for error. You may want to try to see if you can find somewhere that hasn't slicked up a whole bunch, but we'll see how some of these guys get out there. Like most of this, what you see is going to be them just trying out a new line. But we will go ahead and mention the Coast2Coast Speedway, our sponsor for the 3-minute warm-up that we have tonight. If you guys are interested in them, you can catch the Coast2Coast Speedway action every Friday night, free on GeForce TV, featuring live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, all free. GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action all across Ontario. So a lot of guys trying to place their bid for a faster time here tonight. Templeton, I don't even think, I would be surprised to see him even out onto the track. He is sitting fourth right now. So interesting to see a lot of drivers out here feeling pretty confident heading into tonight, here into the Dirt Series. No harm, no foul out of these drivers here so far. We're looking at about another minute and a half here of the warm-ups. We'll see if we can grab one of our drivers out there. Let's see if we can let's talk to John. That might be a heck of a person to talk to here. Let's see if we can grab a hold of him here. John Hine, you got a copy on me here?
I do. How you doing, man?
All right. Well, I guarantee you definitely wish some of the the racing out there earlier. I saw you trying a different line there during Heat 2. We finding out the high side's the only place to be.
Yeah, I took a swipe at it because I was running third because I got stuck in a kind of a bad starting position there. Got stacked up, but if you follow guys, you're just gonna finish behind them. So I thought I would do a quick peek to see if I could make any ground up, and sadly it didn't. But I think in the feature though, this is going to be a different story. We're wearing this track in up top here, and guys are going to have to start pedaling or going to go over this edge if they don't. So I think when you start doing that, the bottom may work maybe towards the middle to the end of this race.
Well, 30 laps you guys will have to try that out. So far it seems everybody, I don't see a soul out there on the track here at any point trying any kind of different line here. It just seems that high line is the place to be, and how dangerous it can be falling off the table there is going to be a tough one to beat. But John, go ahead and give me a little bit of your shout-outs here, because I see you're first in the warm-up here, but man, we got to get to the feature here.
I see that. Just the usual shout-outs, Cool Ray, Cruise Shop, you for doing the broadcast, Gambler Friends, everybody out that, kind of helps out and supports me here, my wife and everybody.
All right, John, good luck to you tonight, and hopefully the Gambler Motorsports team can come out on victorious tonight.
Yep, I hope so. Got one earlier in the midget. We'll see if we can go 2 for 2 here.
All righty. All right, everybody, there's John Hine getting ready for this one. So let's us get ready with the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup for tonight. The Super Dirt Car Series is the Northeast premier, showcasing the big block modifieds premier drivers from Florida to Canada. The Super Dirt Car Series visits some of the most exciting dirt tracks in front of the biggest crowds. The ground-pounding, earth-shattering, window-rattling beasts of the Northeast. It's the Super Dirt Car Series. Let's take a look at it. Guys here, 1 and 2, Brandon Templeton, Aiden Young, 1 and 2 starting here tonight, so that front row is going to be stacked. Brandon Dittmer sitting third with Joseph Grandy in the fourth. Isaac South fifth with Kurt Schatzer rounding out the third row, sitting sixth. Fourth row will be Terry Landis with Patrick Spangler. Randy Shreve, Mr. Consistency, obviously with the top 10, sitting next to the professor. John Hines sitting 10th. Jeffrey Kemper, Mr. Download, into 11th, and Zach Chapman. I'll come up with something for him, I assure you, at some point here in this season, sitting 12th. Let's rotate to the final few guys. Nathan Aldridge, 13th position in that 514. Bob DeGood, we saw kind of had a little stumble during that heat, sitting 14th. Jeff Barker, 15th. And Connor Ross sitting in 16th. That'll be our full field here, ladies and gentlemen, with the Super Dirt Car Series. These guys are following behind the Steve King Foundation pace truck here a couple times around. Let's talk a little bit about that Steve King Foundation pace truck. The Steve King Foundation was formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track operations personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffered serious injury, illness, or death. If you want to learn more, check out www.stevekingfoundation.org. Can't be that hard if you can remember that. Let's take a quick look here at our starting lineup. Let's get them stacked. 16 drivers out here getting locked and loaded here at Lernerville. They got 30 laps to get it done. Now, I will admit they are only 12 incident points, and that can rack up quick, so they got to be clean. Brandon Templeton and Aiden Young are going to be the first two to get this one kicked off here. As we are under green, Barney's got the green flag out. Let's get it done. Boy slinging dirt into the air already. Salas down toward the bottom. 83 makes contact with Schatzer, and Schatzer falls back. Schatzer all the way down to 7th place here, and man, he's having a hard time finding his groove. Speaking of finding his groove, Zach Chapman, we see him wiggling around a whole bunch here. Just can't seem to get that line, but I think he finally has gotten freed up here, and away he goes. Up in the front, Aiden Young has able to tackle and get away from Brandon Templeton here for the lead. Now, you wouldn't think that first place would have a hard time on the inside line for the jump. But that outside line, we've seen heat in, heat out, and now the feature, that outside line is able to pull away here. So Brandon Templeton into second, Joseph Grandy third, with Aiden Young into the lead. Joseph Grandy trying the bottom line here, no can do. A little movement back here around the John Hine and Zach Chapman area. Looks like Terry Landis trying the Terry Landis line down on the bottom. For Kart Racing, seeing if he can get anything going on. Oh, Jeff Barker, something's shuffling back here, 3 wide with Patrick Spangler. Now, Spangler's lost almost 5 positions here, trying to see if he can recover from a mishap earlier here in the race. But he's got a tall order to climb, especially after he is a Triple Crown winner here, 305, 360, and the 410s. Definitely, these pro late models are really kicking him week in and week out here. Not too shabby as these guys are getting around here. I do say Patrick Spangler had a tough time. He did place third last week, but Lernerville is pretty tough, especially with not having that saving grace there along the edge. You can fall off, with just one little wiggle, one little bump there, and there's a problem. But we can obviously see Bob DeGood. No caution flag is out off the track, now down pit road. So Bob DeGood may be our first one out here. He's moved down to pit, may have destroyed that race car. Definitely not looking good for him. We'll see if we can give a quick replay here and take a look and see what happened to Bob DeGood. Oh, there we go. Connor Ross kind of got into him here. And that did it. Let's get back to it as we... Man, he's going to hate me for that. Brandon Dittmer, we just come back as we see Dittmer get into the wall coming out of 4, which drug him back. Now Dittmer's battling for 7th here. Easily gets it away from Zach Chapman, and Zach Chapman still trying to have a lot of trouble out of that 72 machine here tonight. Yeah, out there looking in the chat, it looks like Patrick Spangler says that bottom line is just kind of a no-go. The motor bogs down too much there at the bottom. A couple of guys are trying it. We are keeping our eyes here on Brandon Dittmer, trying to see if he can slide job Zach Chapman, who was behind him, but now it's not paying off. Zach Chapman returns the favor as we are now under caution. I believe the guy in the back, 513, Jeff Barker, may have brought out this caution here. We'll go to one of our Malcolm Mills Millwrighting replay here, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm Mills Millwrighting is a full-service millwrighting contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and servicing industrial clients. Look them up at mmmillwrighting.com or Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting on Facebook. Let's go ahead and get that thing to pop up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Boom, there they are. Let's take a look here at Jeff Barker in the 513 that brought out the caution. Let's see what gets him. Oh, little contact there with Terry Landis. Oh, man. That did it for him. Let's see if we can take another peek at it from another angle. Maybe chopper view. Let's get up top. Oh, Landis drops off the table. Oh, 513 ahead committed, and that was it. Holy cow, that is a bummer for him. All right, that is going to move Jeff Barker, unfortunately, down to just about the last place here. 14th position. Connor Ross is behind him, and Bob DeGood sitting 16th. Still leading the race is Aiden Young here in the front. Haven't reached quite the halfway mark yet, but he's still trying. 69 machine, another Gambler Motorsports team member out there right now leading in the front. He's got to be pretty happy about that. Joseph Grandy sitting 2nd and Isaac Salas 3rd. If you guys are interested in seeing a whole lot more of Isaac Salas putting some fast times down, keep an eye out for it. The Thursday Night Thunder there with Travis Piercefield and Extreme eSpeed TV. Isaac Salas has been winning a whole bunch over there at those 358s. That seems to definitely be his niche. He knows exactly what he needs to do there. But double wide again for this restart. Now, we've been talking about how that outside line gets the better run off of this. We're going to see if Joseph Grandy can capitalize over Aiden Young here. Aiden Young has got to make that slide to the top. Grandy gets caught in the center. Oh, there he goes. Goodbye, Joseph Grandy. Into the stands you go. No caution. Holy cow, Joseph Grandy gonna fight back on the field. He may be a lap down here momentarily. Contact, it looked like between him and Isaac Salas, and that's gonna do it. Looks like caution finally comes out here. But it says this actually may be by Randy Shreves. Now, I have a hard time believing that. Shreves does. Ooh, holy cow. There were multiple incidents on this one. Oh, man. Look at the drivers. John Hine involved. Let's see if we can actually stop this one a little bit, because I actually see Terry Landis getting turned here by Patrick Spangler here. We see him in the back. It looks like Jeff Barker's headed off the reservation again with Kurt Schatzer, our points leader. Holy cow. Now I want to rotate up here to John Hine, because it looks like the 514 and Nathan Aldrich connects with Randy Shreves. Yeah, hits Zach Chapman. And I think John thinks he can shoot the gap here. Oh, gets pinched. Oh, man, John Hine gets rocked here. I do believe these guys have a faster pair, so they're going to be able to try this one more time. But when you're running up front and then you get smashed to pieces here, that is not what you want to see. Showing right now, sitting at that halfway mark here. Pace truck lights are out. Double stack, they're going. Out there in the chat, looks like Stella I will be joining you tomorrow with the Racing Revolution League. Looks like you got the crying face for Grandy. Yeah, I know, I hate to see it. Joseph Grandy now sitting back here in the 12th position. He'll be next to the points leader, Kurt Schatzer, who is sitting 11th. So let's get it done here. Isaac Salas gonna have to figure out how to get that 69 machine behind him here, as Isaac Salas has the top. Can 69 rotate up? Caution. That was quick. think something happened back here again. Uh-oh. Shows Jeff Barker might be out of this one. Let's take a peek at it and see if something happens on the restart here. Jeff Barker gets go. Oh! Whoa! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, we're going to have to wind that one back. Terry Landis, something. He looks like he got a huge shove by Kurt Schatzer here. Schatzer just on the gas. Grandy, how lucky did he get? Wow. Let's take another look at it here from the inside of Jeff Barker. Let's see if he sees anything. Oh, no! And upside down he goes. On the lid. To pit road he's going to go. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Jeff Barker. Right now, I believe John Hine. We'll see. Down pit road, he's got to squeak out quick. Otherwise, John Hine might be a lap down here. Hurry, hurry, hurry. So we saw Barney with that caution flag straight up and down. That, of course, means pace car light should be off here. Single file, I believe these guys will go. Let's go ahead and get this one restarted here. I think that Steve King Foundation pace truck's getting plenty of mileage on it here tonight. We'll be heading into the Asphalt League. And that's going to be looking pretty tough. Now, we didn't get to any of the deals, so what do we have out there on the track? Right now, 60 out there on the track, 80 in the air. So far, working so good for Aiden Young as he's led just about every lap here so far. So as he gets pulled away for this one, Aiden Young into the lead. Brandon Templeton, who actually qualified on the pole, sitting third. Zach Chapman into fourth. Watching Brandon Dittmer riding that high side, and really is no more room up there. Dittmer trying his best up there toward the top. Oh, Zach gonna pinch him here. Yeah, good job. Zach actually may have been trying to block there, but battle for the lead. Isaac South looking to the inside of Aiden Young. Aiden Young now blocking the bottom, maybe realizing that top line is starting to give out on him. Caution. Starting to rack up a few of them here. All right. See what caused our yellow flag out there. Oh, there it is. Hold on, Randy. Oof. Yeah, Randy Shreves is not having it here tonight. Definitely, I know he'd give me an earful. I call him Mr. Consistency, but I'd hate to say he's been consistent and kind of smashing up his race car here tonight. 14th position's where he's going to be. And a lap down. So definitely, Lernerville is pretty tough here, just without any extra padding. Some of these guys are able to wall ride a little bit, able to make a little bit of contact, with, the wall to ride around. But it's not happening at this point. It's just nowhere to go. And it's hard to find an area that you can go without dropping it off the table. And it's like I was saying earlier, that cushion just gets so thin that there's just nowhere to go. But we're taking a little ride along here along the side of our race leader, Aiden Young, looking back at the field as they're wrapping their way around 3 and 4. He's heading into 1 and 2. Caution laps, fortunately, do not count here. Otherwise, this race would be over. This would not give Isaac Salas another chance to see if he can aim for the lead. He had some pretty good sliders there. They look like they may have panned out, but Aiden Young, awesome job, really, to actually block him off there, make that 5 check up. And give it a good shot here. So single file really works out perfectly for the leader. Aiden Young will take off here under the green flag yet again. 11 laps till this one is complete. Isaac Salas trying to hold him close. Let's move back here to Jeffrey Kemper, who looks like he's working on the outside of Kurt Schatzer. Toward the top. Oh, Zach Chapman's around. Looks like around the Patrick Spangler area. The trouble happens. Zach Chapman, he landed on the tires at least. But he may have broken it here. Caution. Let's take a look in that Brandon Dittmer area and see if we can see anything. Oh, that's where Dittmer drops it off the table. He had the problems of his own that actually weren't a part of that. Let's take a look at Kurt Schatzer. Yeah, and this is where Kurt Schatzer kind of comes up on the issue. All right. Let me see if actually we can rotate it here just a little bit here. And I want to rotate around Patrick Spangler and kind of see what exactly happens with him and Zach Chapman. Oh, Chapman gets into the rubble. Gets caught up there. Jams it up a little too slow. 39 makes contact. 518 of Joseph Grandi turns into the wedge. Destroys him. 518 looks like he gets the worst of the damage. Schatzer back upside down with contact with John Hine. He's pushing him down the road. Bob DeGood catches the last of it. Yeah, a lot of drivers, holy cow. And especially a lot of our top points holders getting smoked out of this one. A lot of big trouble out of the drivers on the track here tonight. Pace truck lights are still on. Kurt Schatzer may be out of this one. We saw him having to take it down to pit. Barney with the flag straight up in the air. Right now, our race leader still remains Aiden Young. Aiden Young right now sitting 23rd. He's only completed in one race this season and won it. And Isaac Salas has sitting in second, is completed in 2 races, sitting 24th. So these guys 23rd and 24th in the points. Gonna shuffle it up here. The biggest mover here will be probably Brandon Templeton if he can hold on to 3rd, with him sitting with an 8th place. So let's go ahead and get it done here, as he's got a peek of Nathan Aldrich underneath of him. Brandon Templeton, that is. Templeton getting down into the tractor tires. Gotta be careful as they rotate their way back on out, and Patrick Spangler still on the move. Spangler getting back up 4 positions after falling all the way down. 3rd place finish last week. He's gonna try to see if he can do it again. But Aiden Young really on the defensive here for Isaac Salas that's behind him. 69 machine Aiden Young staying toward the bottom. Oh no, Templeton. Off the track into the wall. And that's, of course, going to bring out our next caution. That's one thing about this track is we've seen, you know, like I believe Bob DeGood fell off the track. You know, earlier in the race, no caution. But that one, we get him sliding off the track, hammers into the wall, and catches him again. So Malcolm Mills definitely getting their money's worth here tonight, as we're under another one of their replays. 31 machine. Something's catching right there. We saw Zach Chapman do the exact same thing. Something's catching right there on that turn. And turning these guys around. Yeah, not 100% sure. Let's try to see if we can... Yeah, something's snagging right there. Right in the middle of 3 and 4. If anybody out there listening, tuned into the broadcast, that is not where... obviously not where you want to be. Let's see if we can actually ride along here with Brandon Templeton and see if there's any kind of steering wheel issue here. Oh! Yeah, something happened. Clink. Yeah, a little late for the for the helmet tear off. All right. Caution, caution, caution. But hopefully we'll be under green to finish the last 7 or so laps here of this race. Pace car light still on, should be out this time by. Since that Steve King Foundation truck has been out there this whole time, you know, kind of mentioned that the Steve King Foundation also offers tribute giving. Dedicate through a gift through giving. Honor a loved one, recognize someone special, or celebrate a milestone by donating in their name while supporting the dirt racing community during times of need. And they'll notify the honoree of your generous gift at the Steve King Foundation. All right, see the pace truck getting ready to duck on off here. Right now, Aiden Young's got to hold him off for about a handful of laps. 69 machine, whoa! Definitely torques that one around out of 4, but away he goes, seems to hang on to it. Patrick Spangler into 3rd. And Nathan Aldrich may have something to say about it. Aldrich trying to ride here on the inside. 514 might ride up into him here. That low line's been looking pretty sketchy here all night. Patrick Spangler holding the top. Isaac Salas closing the gap. Right now making some moves. Right now Brandon Templeton, he's got to figure out how to make up some time here, but he's got a lot of drivers here in front of him. Right now he's pushing around John Hine in the dipper area. Contact with John Hine. No can do. Not yet. But I believe we still have a battle for the lead. Isaac Salas was side by side with Aiden Young there, but Aiden is able to hold him off. 5 machine is putting heavy pressure on the 69. And it's showing right now. Aiden Young wishes he had practiced a little more here in the Pro Late Model division. Only 1 race out of the 6 here so far. This will be number 2 for 6. As he's got to start putting the pedal to the metal here, as he's only got 3 laps to keep it underway. Let's rotate back here to John Hine in the Templeton area. Looks like John Hine's slider on Landis. Up in front he goes. That moves Hine into 6th. But Landis running the Landis line on the bottom. John Hine trying to run the top. Dittmer with a huge amount of speed. Look out. Off the track he goes. 2 to go. Isaac Salas still sitting here in 2nd. Riding that top line. Aiden Young back toward the bottom. Seems to like that slicker line. Oh, huge mistake here by Isaac Salas. Huge mistake. Don't make it worse. Patrick Spangler's now past him here. Now we can only pray for 3rd. Spangler in the 2nd. Aiden Young is going to walk away with this with a 2.5 lead. And even farther, 69 machine wins it of Aiden Young, Patrick Spangler in the 3rd, and Isaac Salas 3rd. Jeffrey Kemper hammers out 4th, and John Hine in the 5th position. Excellent job by our drivers out here tonight. Waiting for our last few of our drivers to go ahead and get this one up and running here. We'll take a look at our whoa, look out, Kurt Schatzer. Oh boy. All right, let's take a look at our race results here for the Cool Ray Pro Late Model Division. Aiden Young, Spangler, and Salas 1, 2, and 3. So Patrick Spangler, yeah, I mean, what an excellent move. We saw him kind of bumbling around the back after an early tie-up. Got hammered around there with John Hine in that area, and then he was actually able to salvage his race and get back up to 2nd. So heart goes out there for Joseph Grandy, Kurt Schatzer, Randy Shreves. All our guys kind of ended up a bunch of laps down here. As they file their way on back, this is going to be definitely a tumble up on the points race now. Good luck for the guys who do keep a hold of that part. So give me just a moment here. Let's go ahead and see if I can track down some of our guys out there for the last of this run. And we'll take a look at what they had going on, talk to them, and ask them kind of how the rest of this race went for this run. Isaac Salas, definitely man on the move, got it. Really, him tumbling around there, just wasn't able to get enough, traction and get a hold of Isaac Salas here. But let's go ahead and take a look here. Isaac Salas, you got a copy on me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What a race this was. Really, was there a solid line out there that was faster than the other?
At the end, not crazy. If it was marginal.
Oh, dude. Well, I saw a couple of times out there on the track that just the speed you were carrying into the turns, that slider you just couldn't make work underneath that 69 machine. What could have gone differently for you to run him down?
If I would have that exact slider, if I would have stayed up high, I probably would have got him there. But I had a crazy run, and I was like, well, he probably has noticed that I've been at the top, so he's probably gonna block that. And then he went down the bottom to protect the slider line, so it was a perfect move by him to kind of get me to have to try to go for too much in the next couple laps, and I almost lost the podium. I'll give it that. So
yeah, it was definitely close. You're gonna hate me, but we had eyeballs on you when the sliders started happening, and you hammered the wall. I figure your steering wheel has got to look like an airplane pilot's size, but as much as you've got to bend it over that one. But
yeah, she was a handful after that.
Oh man, but still, what a wild run it was here tonight here at Lernerville. Next Tuesday, we actually head for the Pro Late Models to Lima Land. How confident are you feeling with that track?
Yeah, you catch me practicing during the next week, I'll tell you that. I enjoy it there, but I don't run late models that much, so it's going to take some time.
Oh, yeah, well, this only being your third contest shot here tonight, this should move you up pretty well, definitely with the participation. So, Isaac Salas, third place finish tonight. Give me shout-outs.
Yeah, absolutely. everybody over at Venom Racing, Dean Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, Arson Trackside, Simtrax Broadcasting with you, buddy, Dirt Track Bank, Coast to Coast, and all our drivers, our admins, man, everybody that makes it so much fun. Mission 22 on everything they do for our veterans, and then thank you to our veterans, my friends and family that watch, man, and that's about it.
Oh, all right, Isaac Stiles, definitely a mouthful. And I'm glad you got a lot of people out here watching you and sponsors on the car. I will catch you in the Asphalt League, will I not?
Yeah, you will. Like I said, I'm gonna be back on Tuesday, so we'll see.
Alrighty, last time I saw you in Michigan, it didn't end well, so let me get you gone and get practicing there, bud.
Awesome, thank you, buddy.
All right, everybody, Isaac Salas there, third place finisher. I'm getting ahead of myself. Speaking ahead of myself, that moves me to our second place finisher, being Patrick Spangler. And I have got to know, Patrick Spangler, what a run it was out there. You were in the front, you fall to the back, and you battle yourself back to the front after multiple wrecks. I definitely bet you didn't see that coming. Third place finish last week, second tonight. How's it feel?
Pretty good. I think I went off the track twice there for all those cautions came out, and I was leading the midget race before this, spun out while leading, went to the back, got back to third, and went off in the last turn. I figured that was going to happen again. I managed to hold on to it, and with a demo derby car, got back to second.
Last season, I rode along with you in that 410 machine and noticed you used the dirt that built up on the wall to bank into turn one. I got a mind like a steel trap. It wasn't so here on the Pro Late models this season.
Yeah, the Pro Lates I don't run too often, but I'm pretty comfortable almost in any dirt car around the cushion here. I just really like Lernerville. Most laps I have at any track on here. Still, it's kind of tight, as you can see a couple times. People would tighten up in the middle of the turn, try to keep it from going over. So I'm still trying to get used to that. Just trying to keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. We saw how Zach Chapman, I believe Dittmer was one of them. They get going around and almost the car straightened out. And I was wondering if there's a hard spot or something out there that these guys were a little nervous about getting around. It almost straightened up and then bang, and then people were getting rear-ending them, and it just ended up so bad. I do want to talk about the points here, just a hair. You are sitting right now 6th. Randy Shreves into 5th, but you were separated by about 4 points here. Randy Shreves nailing a 12th place finish. This will slide you up, definitely for sure, into the next area. What is the outlook heading into the next round, into the next week, heading into Lima Land?
I wanted to this season just try to work on getting better in these pro lates, and I was hoping for a top 5 this season, so I can sneak a top 3 maybe out of this. That'd be pretty cool to get. Just got to keep chugging along and hopefully keep getting podiums.
All right, the continuation of Patrick Spangler in the 39, no matter where you are. Definitely put on a great show each and every week. Go ahead and give me shout-outs.
Just you for putting on the awesome broadcast. Roger for running the league. That uncle back on watching. Triangles Racing. Even though Dimmer had a little bit of a tough time tonight. And wife for letting me race here.
Patrick Spangler, great job tonight. I will catch you next week.
Sounds good. Hope to talk to you again.
Yep. All righty. Patrick Spangler, everybody. That gets it done here. That, of course, moves us to our race winner, Aiden Young. Wow for Aiden Young here. Definitely squeezing this one through. I am impressed here. Let's see if we can go ahead and grab Aiden Young. Aiden Young in the 69 machine. Talk to me about tonight's race.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. I had her on a different line than I'm used to at Lernerville and just had to keep going where I was.
I will admit, high side seemed to be where it was at. You definitely qualifying 1 and 2 there with Templeton. You didn't have to, compete in the heats. I'm sure you were pretty happy about that part.
Yeah, that helped just because I could sit back and relax and watch what the other guys were doing, but the feature's totally different than the heats.
100%. We saw John Hine trying the bottom. It looked like you weren't really a fan of the bottom. Highline was fast, but how dangerous is it up there on the top shelf?
Yeah, the outside was really, really dangerous. I thought I was going to go over in 3 and 4 more than once, but I didn't, and we're here.
Well, definitely bucking and bumping there. Well, with Isaac Salas behind you, you've been under fire most of this night in an uncomfortable area. How do you stay calm with so many drivers really trying to, kind of compete for that front lane there?
Yeah, it's just like firefighting. You just got to stay calm under pressure and do your job.
All right, we'll definitely rip that mirror off and keep eyes out the windshield. You did. Another win here. It's glad to see you back. Right now, looking here in the points, when I looked before, you've only been here one other time and won that race. Now you come back for your second race that you've competed in and won that one too. So definitely, I know work gets in the way, but obviously the consistency of you winning per times you're showing is 100% at this point. What can we hope for to get you out here more often?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Just different training nights, I guess.
No fire. Oh, Aiden Young in the 69 Young Gun Creation Machine. Tell me a little bit about Cool Ray and give me a shout out for your sponsors here, because we got to head over to Michigan, man. We got to see how fast you can go there.
Yeah, obviously got to thank Cool Ray as always. Andy and them do a great job and just support me a lot. Obviously got to thank you for coming on board for this season. Just got to keep going, and good luck to Gambler Motorsports and the trucks.
Oh, yes. I see that logo there on the side, man. Looking slick. Looking pretty good. So 69 Machine, go ahead and hop in the Gander Outdoor Sports truck, and let's go ahead and see how much speed you can put on the pavement, Aiden.
Thank you. Let's send it.
All right. All right. Aiden Young here, winner of tonight's race. John Hine ended up 5th. Jeffrey Kemper in the 4th. So hopefully Mr. Download already has Michigan. He's got a long list of work here to do, but we're going to head to commercial and get locked and loaded for that asphalt race right after these commercials. Don't go away.
Hi, my name is Livia Olson. I am an industrial engineering senior and club volleyball member here at Penn State.
And I'm Alex Ryan, a computer science senior and another club volleyball member. And we're excited to announce that we're planning to dance in Thon 2023.
Thon is a 46-hour, no sitting, no sleeping dance marathon aimed towards raising funds to support those affected by childhood cancer. It is the largest student-run philanthropy in the entire world. We'll be dancing in honor of one of our best friends, Jesse King. Jesse is also a part of club volleyball, but a lot of us would consider him family. Immediately, freshman year, Alex and I clicked with Jesse and all the other new members of club volleyball. We went to the dining hall together for a lot of our meals, spent weekends together, and ended up going on vacations together. It really does feel like family to us.
Going into junior year, Jesse was supposed to live with myself and a few of our other friends, but he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in March of 2021. He's been through chemotherapy, it's been a year since he's finished radiation, and we can officially say that he has no active cancer. Currently, he is undergoing physical and cognitive therapies.
Thanks to Thon and Four Diamonds, the King family and many other families have yet to see a bill related to medical expenses, hotels, parking, gas fees, and all other related travel expenses. It just goes to show that every dollar raised truly does go a distance. It allows families to focus on the recovery of their child as opposed to financial stress.
Because of this, we've got to spend a lot more time with Jesse and his family, who are the nicest people in the world. They throw awesome tailgates, and every time we see them, a little bit more of the Jesse that we know and love peeks through.
Until then, we are fully committed to the mission of Thon and Four Diamonds by raising funds to support the Kings and all the other families affected by childhood cancer.
With Thon less than 100 days away, we're asking that you consider donating. Regardless of the amount, it will make an immense impact. To donate to our donor drive, please scan the QR code or click the included link.
If donating isn't in your cards today, please share this video with those around you. Help us get our fundraising past the finish line.
This is a race that families can't afford to lose.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
At Coolray Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly been the leader in serving the Southeast since 1966. And nobody is more committed to delivering industry-leading excellence to the Nashville community than we are. We're number one because we've got the best and brightest HVAC technicians, plumbers, and electricians. And you can count on us 24/7, 7 days a week. Go to coolray.com to learn more.
Alrighty, and we are back. Patrick Morrison here in the booth, still again with Coast2Coast Racing League Network and Simtrax Broadcasting, coming to you live here for the Asphalt League with the Coast to Coast. Do want to kind of mention out there for the Coast2Coast Racing League, they do have a racing school out here. You can check them out at the C2C Racing School, where the league's top drivers have volunteered to help league drivers improve their driving skills free of charge. They'll be offered help on various skill sets, such as qualifying, driving lines, driver awareness, and setup advice. So go to the website c2crl.com. You can schedule yourself a session. Out there, we're taking a peek at some of our drivers here so far at none other than Michigan Speedway. Let's go ahead and take a peek at what our race conditions are looking like for tonight. We've got a couple of cars drifting around here. I believe that may be Terry Landis sliding around there in the background. 50 laps here, 2 faster pairs, and 3 sets of tires at Michigan. 109 degrees on the track. You want to talk about suicide. Those are going to melt those tires in less than a lap and a half here, and they're really going to be having a tough time here under 50 laps. If we can keep the cautions under control, this should be a good one here. Guys do leave the short track and head into a super speedway, which I'm a little excited about. Definitely good to see some good passing here so far. We talked to Isaac Salas about his last kind of tumble up that we saw, in the following season, just kind of ended up hammered to pieces there. Stephen Goldner. I want to talk about last week. Stephen Goldner was actually sitting second during practice and won last week's race. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out there for. And Stephen Goldner's not one for qualifying. He sits all the way in the back, lets the rest of the fields kind of crash out, and he swears up and down he's no good at racing, but I beg to differ. I know Stephen Goldner's doing a really hell of a job out there on the track. He seems to be in the right place at the right time. Stephen Goldner with 3 races sitting in the top 8. He's sitting 8th place right now with at least 1 win, 205 points, right behind Kyle Moonen. And Kyle Moonen, obviously, during practice, had some solid times there as well. Let me see if I can pop up those practice results there. Kyle Moonen, Goldner, and Aldrich, 1, 2, and 3. We'll see how that kind of transfers over here when these guys start laying some times down for qualifying. And it's going to be definitely an interesting one as we kind of took a look at the track that was brought to you by Tim Chapman Racing. He will be out there on the track tonight as well in his Chevrolet. So we'll see how he does. Boy, oh boy, but we got our eyeballs right now on the 71 of John Hine out there here tonight. So let's take a peek at where our best times are here so far. Right now, Mark Gilbert, Zach Chapman, and Matthew Robinson 1, 2, and 3. Jeffrey Kemper sitting actually 5th now, as Luis Meglin there slides into 3rd. Definitely only squeezing by a few thousandths of a second here. Got a lot of trial to do here. Good Lord, look at Aiden's truck. I like it. He's got a whole bunch of sim tracks on that one. I'm liking that. Looking good. Appreciate him out there representing me. And looking mighty fine doing it right now. Aiden Young, 16th on the out there on the drive, but we've seen him win from anywhere out there on the track. Jackson Lomax, good luck to the turn 1 boys. Definitely they're going to need it. They got a whole lot of driving to do to get their way back to the front. Turn 1 racing consisting of Matthew Robinson, Chris Schaefer out there in the Discord, ready, locked, and loaded. Here we go. Robert Lynch, holy cow. Fast time out of him from out of nowhere. He gets it done. And, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's looking good. Oh, yeah. Man, look at these guys. I got to admit, it really brings a good feeling to you when you're all over these guys' cars. Because there is so limited space on them. And these guys just doing such a great job out there. To be represented on the car is just that great feeling. Yeah, there we go. Attaboy. I like the way that looks. All right, taking a look here at Aiden Young. See if he can get any better of a time here. Sitting right now in 18th. He's got to clear this line here a little faster than he did before. Right now, per his section times, he ain't going to have it. 18th. Oof. Definitely, he's got a lot of work to do. Steven Bixler still out there on the track as well. Steven Bixler sitting 21st. Nick Schell in the 58. Haven't seen Nick Schell out here a whole bunch. Glad to see him returning back out here. No familiar name, you know. Yeah, Aiden Young definitely trying to get some extra practice time down. We got a few drivers that are missing tonight. Now we got Jackson Lomax, I believe Christopher Berger. I don't see them locked and loaded out here tonight, but that's A-okay. Preston Kramer sitting 20th. All right, and our wonderful RC tonight will be Brandon Ishkanyon, so he'll be the one holding down the fort and kind of earing into Barney's ear while what flag to fly. He'll be keeping an eye out for the cautions here for tonight. About another 20 seconds left here in our qualifying session. And we'll move on to the live round. Heading into this one, that's going to do it. 25 guys that's showing here so far. And I'm showing 5 guys that decide not to. Calder, Schartzer, Goldner, Grace are not out there. I will say there is only one penalty, and I don't know if you guys remembered from last week. The number 27 of Sean Grace made contact with the number 15 on lap 80, so it was definitely tough to see them get started like that. That was definitely a nasty run on that one. But of course, let's go ahead and do none other than taking a look at our starting grid here. In the front row, boy, oh boy, oh boy, definitely fast man out there tonight. Robert Lynch sitting next to Mark Gilbert in the front rows. Row 2, Connor Ross and Zach Chapman. 3 and 4, Luis Meglin into 5th. Matthew Robinson sitting 6th. We'll talk about that 15 car a little bit tonight as well, with Brad Wetzel sitting to the inside, kind of catty corner to him in the 43, sitting 7th, with Chris Schaefer. Looks like turn 1's doing pretty well there, sitting 8th. Tim Chapman 9th, Isaac Salas in the 10th, Jeffrey Kemper 11th, and Terry Landis in the 12th. That'll be at least 6 rows. Of course, we want to see how many they have left. Butch Baker sitting 13th, Nathan Aldrich 14th with John Hine and Nick Schell sitting in the 8th row. 9th row will be John Rayner and Aiden Young, definitely toward the back. Kyle Moonen 19th with Preston Kramer in the 10th row. Wow. Now, I will admit, from this angle, these guys are so far back, I'm really impressed or really confused as to why they are back that far. But let's go ahead and talk to Stephen Bixler in 21st position, Jim Bowie 22nd, Jacob Butcher in the 23rd with Jeremy Tate sitting in the 12th row, 24th. Pat Boyce 25th, Brandon Ishkanyon should be our RC tonight. Sean Grace will be serving an EOL penalty. Stephen Goldner, we know he doesn't qualify, sitting 28th, and that'll bring Bill Calder and Corey Schartzer sitting 29 and 30. And I'll go ahead and round out our field here as we can see them sitting down pit road looking pretty snappy. And they'll be under getting ready to grid here momentarily, about 2 or 3 seconds. Show me those lights turn on. Let's get that pace car rolling here. Yeah, Robert Lynch definitely wants to get on the hammer here. No can do. There's the pace car. And away we go. We're going to watch these guys kind of file down here for the grid. Driving by out here, I'm expected to see some solid driving. Now I know good lines out here on the track are high line. Now whether these guys want to take a little more dangerous approach, try to drive down toward the bottom, that's all up to them. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's definitely being it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. 50 laps, a lot can happen here. A lot can happen, and we'll probably talk to a couple of our drivers out there and see kind of how this goes for this one. Chris Schaefer, Sean Grace, and Jacob Butcher, 1, 2, and 3 here in the points. Schaefer starting back there a good bit, still within the top 10. So he's got a long way to go, and let's go ahead and get this one underway. Pace car is off. Robert Lynch, Mark Gilbert, front row. Let's see how they get it done. 121 Chevrolet and the 76 Ford. Getting launched for this one, holding on. All right, on to green, away we go. Hopefully we got enough sound on the track here tonight for you guys to hear it. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. And it looks like Connor Ross has already slid himself up one position here already, sitting into the second position, right behind Robert Lynch. But already big movement here toward the back. Well, I'm mistaken. That may be Aiden Young. We can't miss the white and blue car. He's definitely swerving to get out from behind the 58 car, Nick Schell. Sliding underneath he is, underneath Nathan Aldrich there, and he's going to continue his move, but let's stay up front. Matthew Robinson sitting fourth on the outside of the 15 machine. Let's see if he's got anything for us. He may have to give Mark Gilbert a little push here. Truck's getting up over 203 miles an hour out there on the track. Definitely a lot of speed out of them here so far. So let's take a look at where we are sitting at the moment. Less than a tenth of a second behind. Connor Ross is sitting behind Robert Lynch, seeing if he can keep him toward the front. Excellent job there so far. But I believe Terry Landis is sliding up in front. If I'm not mistaken, that should be Preston Cranmer. Definitely can't miss those Epsilon wrap trucks as they continue their way around. Good moving here so far. No trouble on the track just yet, and I'm appreciating it. I assure you, I think all of our viewers out there are as well. They continue their charge toward the front. Moving around here, I believe, yep, that's Isaac Souse there in the 05. Seeing if he can get anything there. Looks like Zach Chapman's down toward the bottom. His dad's sitting 15th. Zach Chapman now falls down to 7th, continuing on the move, and that's where we see play for the lead. Mark Gilbert's got it. Robert Lynch is falling down to second. Matthew Robinson, you can thank for that. But it looks like Mark Gilbert is going to go ahead and bail out. Almost 3 wide. Matthew Robinson, is he going to push it? 35 of Connor Ross is losing a whole bunch of speed here. May have to tuck up right behind the 23. But he's got a teammate here. Matthew Robinson's going to get a push by Chris. Oh, no! Matthew Robinson's around. That's going to bring out our first caution here. And I've got to break that down because I've got to figure out who made contact with who. Holy cow. Well, at least there are 2 faster pairs, so at least I'll give you kind of that insight. At least there's something good. So hopefully Matthew Robinson's night is not over here. Unfortunately, he does have to limp it all the way back around the pit, and hopefully he'll be able to do that. Big time wreck there, and I definitely hate to see it. You got a lot of good drivers out there, and these guys just kind of crashing them up there. All right, give me just a moment, and we're going to see if we can find exactly what happened to Matthew Robinson here. Let's go to our caution replay. Let's take a look at it. Whoa, there was some sort of touch in there. All right, let me see if we can kind of wind it back here just a little bit here. It's Matthew Robinson here. Where's the contact? Let's see if we can roll it back here. Oh, man, did he get pushed a little too hard? Let's take a look at it. $23. Yep, looks like he just kind of clipped him. 23 may have slid up the track a little bit and turned his own teammate. 15 gets caught here. 23 collects up. Now Turn 1 Racing gets hammered to pieces here. And that's not looking good. 514 Nathan Aldrich. 43 machine. I think the bleeding continues here. Look out. Oof. John Rayner. Oh, John Rayner just snuck through that one. Oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, a few drivers caught up in that one. They're going to be starting toward the back. Pit stops have started. Right now, I see just about everybody's coming down pit. Really ain't, they may know something we don't. The rush off pit road starts to heat up here. I believe John Hine might have come down as well. It looks like the scamper off pit road. Robert Lynch got the best of it. Jeffrey Kemper came down lap 4. Zach Chapman is actually at first off pit road. Aiden Young coming 12th. Robert Lynch 13th. Connor Ross into the 14th position as these guys file back off of pit road. So a lot of these guys are coming down pit. Interesting pit strategies. Luis Meglin did not. Luis Meglin took 4 tires. Everybody else looks like a fuel and go. And really, that may be the way to stretch it here. You know, there's no sense in, you know, being a couple gallons down on fuel, seeing these guys are only running about 50%. So we'll see. We'll see. Mark Gilbert, Isaac Salas. Right now, biggest mover of the race is Pat Boyce. Pat Boyce is up in that 41 Ford, sitting 8th place right now. He's up 17 positions. So far, good move by him. I know sometimes it's short-lived. But there's always a chance for these guys to give it another round. Out there on the track. Let's take a look. Boy, oh boy, Isaac Salas going to take the outside there on the 76 machine. And Mark Gilbert will be our new race leader here. On the front of the map. He's got to be feeling pretty confident here in Michigan. You know, definitely got a good starting spot. He's still hanging up front. Right now, I think everybody else is kind of peeling away from him here. But you gotta admit, the peel away is going to happen, especially when your wreck started, you know, from the guy sitting in 3rd. So, I mean, you want to talk about a heartbreaker, but, you know, regardless, there's a faster pair, so they get a mulligan. And then we're going to go ahead and give it another shot and try again. But the pain continues. I will say, out of all the penalties and everything, Sean Grace, from last place all the way up to 18th so far. So he's up 9 positions. Not too bad. I think frustrations can get the best of us and may have bit him a little bit last week. But that 27 Toyota in the Red Bull truck is going to continue to make his moves forward. He's got a points lead he needs to hold. He's missing Chris Schaefer by a good bit here. Chris Schaefer was one of the guys taken out in that wreck. Let's see, where is in the world is Chris Schaefer? I think Chris Schaefer may have ended up in some trouble here. Looks like it's showing him as a lap down, sitting 26th. I don't know about that, but these guys are not quite double-filed yet. Seem that everybody's a little caught off guard. Mark Gilbert isn't, as he gets taken off. Away from Isaac South. Butch Baker sitting third, side by side with Terry Landis. Landis in the highest spot of the race, sitting third. Right underneath as we're at lap 8. Definitely a sketchy line for the 161 to be taken. I know bottom side will work, but longevity it won't. Kyle Moonen sees it, contact. Man, you almost think there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be a better line around not to make contact, but maybe Landis was kind of floating up. Kyle Moonen thought he may have picked up some speed, and he did not. So Isaac Salas finally has a chance to stay into a top 5, even a podium position in the asphalt. But it's going to be hard charging. We saw him last time, if I'm not mistaken. He was 4th place when the big one happened at Michigan with only 4 to go. Well, Isaac Salas definitely looking to turn his luck around. Kyle Moonen now up 15 positions in his Chevrolet, fighting into now 4th. All right, now Vanderbilt Racing's got to be pretty happy about that as he continues his charge, rotate off of 2. Looks a little loose. Temperature here of the track shouldn't be a factor. They definitely should have heated up at this point. Definitely, I will admit, heat cycle of the tires may be taking a little bit of a play here. Out there in the chat, my wife says she appreciates all the support you guys show for Simtrax Broadcasting as well out there. Definitely a good way to get you some camera time for sure. And out there looks like Jackson Lomax with a broken heart. He is able to get tuned in, but not able to show up tonight, and that's A-OK. So turn 1 is going to try to resurrect their race here and get back up to the front. But up to the front, Kyle Moonen, another position down. 3rd place, 24 Chevrolet, still on the charge here. So I definitely expect to see Kyle Moonen probably take the lead here, but with Mark Gilbert pulling some solid times here, it's looking good. Last lap by Mark Gilbert was a 40.05. And Kyle Moonen had a 39.78. So the draft is working at this point. I think Isaac South maybe just kind of 1-2 here. Boy, Kyle Moonen definitely sliding around like that. If we're not, didn't see enough of that earlier in the race, that's going to look pretty ugly here later. Up toward the top to get the run, back down toward the bottom. It does take wear on tires doing that, but he's willing to risk. Kyle Moonen, here he comes, inside lane on the 76. He's got a fender on him, and now your new race leader will be Kyle Moonen. As I said exactly 1 lap ago, Kyle Moonen's going to now take the lead. Inside lane toward the top, 76 crosses him up. 4 on the bottom of Mark Gilbert, and he continues the charge. Who will Isaac Salas help? Inside line he chooses. Now he's pushing the 76 toward the front. Wow! Excellent racing here as we start lap 12 here at Michigan Speedway. Michigan International Speedway definitely brings a lot of action here, especially when there are so many lines that you can run. But Kyle Moonen battle alongside Isaac South. 76 is going to block him now. We'll find out if Kyle Moonen wants to make the switch up here. I would move through the rest of the field here, but it looks like the battle for the lead continues. Kyle Moonen back down toward the bottom. He's able to maintain, and he should stick this one. Turn exit will be a factor as Mark Gilbert still holds on to this one a little closer. Terrible camera angle. Let's try that again. As Kyle Moonen is now down toward the bottom, Gilbert gets another lead lap. Moving on into turn 1, Isaac Salas tries to give the push to the 76. Looks like that Venom Racing team has got a lot in front of them, sitting right now 2 and 3 as Kyle Moonen regains the lead. Where can these guys go? I would want to mention, take a look at Aiden Young, sitting 5th. Aiden Young on the move at this point, seeing if he can file in behind, but with who? Kyle Moonen loose into turn 3, make contact with Isaac Salas. Holy cow. Definitely what we saw last season. Isaac Salas nowhere to go here. But Isaac Salas is continuing into second. Kyle Moonen has lost another position to Butch Baker. Butch Baker up 10 positions, now in the third. And Aiden Young making a bid for 4th. He does. In the 4th he goes. Kyle Moon in 5th, and now Luis Meglin in the 6th. Definitely good battles on the track here so far. I don't know if Kyle Moon has burned his tires up at this point. As the 76 remains our leader of the race. Let's rotate back here a little bit to our pole sitter, Robert Lynch, after his pit stop. Fuel and Go has fought his way back to 11th here. Got in front of John Hine. Pat Boyce is next on his list. All around the outside, taking a peek at that 41. Let's see if the 41 holds. 121 to Robert Lynch in the Chevrolet, trying to see if he can get this Ford underneath of him. No can do as the outside line takes it. Pat Boyce having to check up big time. Definitely not a good entry there by Pat Boyce, as Pat Boyce is now falling down to 13th. As the charge continues, Gambler Motorsports team 71 and 72 here. Definitely working to keep each other side by side. Now John Hine on the inside. John Hine takes the dive here toward the bottom, and he's going to rotate up the track. That's one thing about Michigan. It's got to be a late entry into the turn if you wish to dive low. To avoid riding up into the track, 72 of Zach Chapman trying his best to work the 71 truck. Wants to push him here toward the front, but boy, oh boy, I would not want to be using the shovel nose of these Gander Outdoor trucks to push each other around. 121 of Robert Lynch down toward the bottom, touching the paint there. That's going to allow the 71 of John Hine to capitalize here, but no can do. Tell you what, guys, out there in the chat, light it up. Tell me what you think about this race here so far. Definitely, from what I'm seeing, compared to last week, much, much better here. Aiden Young has now fought himself in the 3rd, put Butch Baker behind him, and the trail continues for Aiden Young. Right now, if he could just get a hold of that draft from Isaac Salas, he'd definitely start picking up some speed here, and he's got plenty of chances to get it done. Let's take a little ride along here with Aiden Young at the 69 machine, one at the Pro Lates. Let's see if he's got one here for the Asphalt League. There it is. There's the draft, and we're riding along with him here as he's starting to suck up to the back end of Isaac Salas in his number 5 Chevrolet. Big time mover here. Here it comes. What does he decide to do here? Let's take a roof look. Oh, man, you can see how close he gets. Definitely good rotation by the 69 Ford of Aiden Young. But he's got Luis Meglin right behind him here, and away we go. Isaac Salas, does he continue staying behind the 76 of Mark Gilbert, or does he not? What does he decide to do for the Venom Racing team? Right now, Venom Racing team 1 and 2. Gambler Motorsports sitting 3rd. It's looking pretty good. I was showing you before John Hine and Zach Chapman 11th and 12th. They're trying to fight their way back up to the front. And Vanderbilt sitting right now, if I'm 5th and 8th. Steven Goldner up 20 positions. But battle for a second now, heating up. Isaac Salas under fire. Here it comes. Number 5 may try to rotate toward the top and stay up top. Luis Meglin decides to push him, using his Toyota to the best of his advantage to keep the 5 going. And now Aiden Young has got his hands full, as Aiden Young's now on the bottom with the 69. Ha! All right. Aiden Young sitting 4th now. He's got a lot of work here to do. Isaac Salas, really, I'm impressed to see him leading Mark Gilbert for as long as he has. I know definitely in the 358 division, Isaac Salas doesn't really wait a whole lot, but Luis Meglin is now showing he doesn't want to wait. Topside, there it is. I was waiting for somebody to do this. Topside he goes, and you see the amount of speed that high line will roll. And boy, here it comes. Pit lane is heating up. Isaac Salas, Butch Baker, Terry Landis, and Kyle Moonen. All these guys are coming down as we speak. It looks like Kyle Moonen might have actually gotten enough speed into pit road to get in first. Excellent job. Aiden Young, who did pit back on lap 5 for a splash and go, will be able to hang out there longer. I would assume most of these drivers are probably not going to take tires. If they are, it will only be right sides. And the reason I say that is you do not want to lose any time at this track under green if a green flag pit stop is to happen. So some of these guys who are down pit road now are taking tires, and they may pay for that later on here in the race. Aiden Young, Luis Meglin, and now Steven Goldner, and last week's winner, sitting 3rd, up 25 positions with this Ford here, and he's got a lot. Boy, I just don't know what he can't do. This is really something to watch this truck week in and week out, from the back to the front. And I think he tries to make a bid for that hard charger each and every single week, because he was week 4 unknown on week 5, but he's got a lot of potential here. So we'll see how long Aiden Young and Luis Meglin hold out for this. And the much-needed caution has come out. I would definitely expect all the guys who have not pit, Jeremy Tate, 13th on up, are all now going to pit, and they'll have the ability to take 4 tires without any cost of more positions out there on the track. Taking a look, I believe Brad Wetzel may have been in some trouble here, as we are looking at his 43 Chevrolet mashed to pieces, and we'll go over it here in just a moment of exactly what happened here to cause this whole tangle up. I'm not sure if looked like either that looked like Terry Landis may have been on the inside here. So let's go ahead and cut away here momentarily and see if I can find what happened to Brad. Nasty, nasty move here. Let me see if I can get us a good angle. Yes, sir. Taking a look at Brad Wetzel. I believe that should be him up top in the 43. Contact with the 97, and I believe that's John Hine. If there is anywhere John Hine could be, hopefully you wouldn't expect it to be there. But it looks like he gets the worst of it. Oof. Shot there. Look out. Terry Landis. Bam. John Rayner. Away. Away. Oh, man. John Rayner then makes connection. Stop. Oh, oh, I gotta admit, some of these are almost mini heart attacks. These are bad. And as I called it, most of our guys are down pit, but we're gonna stay here with our wreck and take another look at it. From the angle it kind of happened here. Let's take another shot at it. Kind of a little more of a distant feature here. Contact. Oh, there we go. You see John Hine. Looks like he may have kind of chickened out a little bit there. Didn't want to make contact. And around they go, full speed. Into the wall. This is the heartbreaker here. Bam. Terry Landis, Sean Grace, look at him running through the grass. Catches Landis there on the corner of your screen. John Rayner gives him another quality charity pop right there. And Brad Wetzel will be, I guarantee you, using one of those fast repairs. So that is, smashing, as it was said in the Wild Thornberries. But all right, let's take a look at Brad Wetzel here in the 13. Yes, yes, yes. Brad Wetzel sitting 13th position. Luis Meglin stays into the lead. Everybody, looks like everybody may have repit out there. Luis Meglin, Aiden Young, Stephen Goldner, Robert Lynch, Matthew Robinson. Let's see Matthew Robinson. Look at that return back to the 5th position. And these old guys all pit from 10th on up, all pit on lap 22. So definitely going to be looking good for their bid to the front of the line here to give it another shot. You know, just you see the mashup. Now you've got guys with tires, and now it's going to be the charge here toward the front is definitely going to be tough. Definitely going to be tough. I want to see if we can find, where is Mr. Grace? Yeah, going to be pretty tough. I will admit, down there on the out there on the track, some people did get hammered for laps down because of when they pit. That being Tim Chapman, Nathan Aldridge, Chris Schaefer, Jacob Butcher, and Terry Landis. Right now, John Rayner is down pit road at this point. Seeing if they can shuffle up with them and see how he does out here. Not seeing how Mr. Sean Grace, unfortunately. I'd like to have a little chat with him. Seeing his charge back to the front is working out pretty well. Sitting 9th right now. Jeffrey Kemper sitting 8th. So a lot of big movers here so far. Robert Lynch sitting 4th. Matthew Robinson. These guys are switching up there a little bit. But fans are back up out of their seats as we're about to go back under green flag here. Only 2 cautions halfway through this race. So I got to say, this is a lot better. That's a lot better. We've been kind of on an average of about 10 cautions here in the Asphalt League. Getting definitely improving here. It could get worse. It could get worse, but we're all hoping for the best. Fans are out of their seats. Green flag is back out, and away we go here. under Luis Meglin and Aiden Young here, 1 and 2, but it looks like, oh no, Barney puts it back away as they're extending the caution. No. Double wide they go. Looks like John Rayner's able to squeak out here. Pace car lights are off now. Oh, but I'll tell you what, guys. Did you see me get all ramped up for that one? I thought we were getting ready to lock and load. Got me all out of sorts. Stephen Goldner here. Back at the back of the field. Looks like he'll send John Rayner to the end. What he did is he entered the pit road, exited a closed pit road. You're not allowed to exit within, I believe, about 3 or 4 seconds of the pace truck, or pace car in this sense, getting at the end of pit lane. So we saw when he exited back when we were, these guys were double filing there. He will now file to the back of the line. Yeah, having some trouble there. Looks like, you know, it kind of looks like some of those guys who may have gotten wave rounds to get back on the lead lap just didn't make it in time, but that's okay. Some of these guys will file it back together. I'm sure if I were a leader right now, Aiden Young, Luis, Stephen Goldner, Robert Lynch, I'll take that extra caution lap. Right now, that was a piece of cake. What lap was 15 last pit? 15's last pit was on lap 22. Matthew Robinson came down with everybody else. Back to green flag. Luis gets pulled away. Aiden Young's going to try and chase him here. But Aiden Young's biggest arch nemesis here, Stephen Goldner, Vanderbilt Racing, in his Ford down on the bottom. Stephen Goldner, we know him for not waiting. He's going to try to hammer it through here. Most of these guys are on new tires, I would probably assume. Only person I see who has not is Steven Bixler, 14th position. He's marching back because of it. So 1 and 2, Meglin and Stephen Goldner here. Rotating their way back up to the front. No, it's kind of giving us a little hiccup here, telling me Meglin's still down pit, and we know better than that. I'm watching him here in the lead. Let's give a little juice to our overlay there. Oh, John Hine, not again. John, hold on to it. Yeah, boy. Hold it. No. Second chance. Ooh, little tap. Little tap. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there's the damage. Oh, man. Bringing out our third caution here. John Hine involved in this one. Let's take a look at it. From the top here. Trying to see what happened. Bringing out our caution. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't see any contact. Looks like John just got loose. I'd give it to the rest of the field here for avoiding that. Great job. Great job here. Kind of looking at John again. And what you may see the switch up here is Robert Lynch. I'm looking to see if maybe it took away from the front downforce from him. Yeah, he didn't want to make contact with Preston Kramer. Hats off to John Hine for saving that one. Excellent job. Sean Grace not overreacting as well. 27 of Sean Grace and Preston Kramer in the Chevrolet. Holy cow. So John, back of the pack you go. So right now sitting 21st. He's going to come back down pit road here. I probably would assume he wouldn't use his fast repair, but he's got a good bit of damage to the side of that race car. So we'll see how he is coming down pit lane here. Man, look at that camera angle. A little bent up there on the side as you see him riding down the left side here and trying to see if he can get this thing squared away here. It's definitely not good. There's the front end damage. He's got damage everywhere. That is not looking good here for Mr. Hine. So as we continue here on the night, Matthew Robinson has now slid up to 4th. Robert Lynch sitting 5th. Stephen Goldner still up 26th position, sitting 2nd. Fast drivers here so far. I would probably wonder if Luis and Sean Grace are together on this one. It's looking pretty interesting on this paint. You can kind of Awfully familiar. Oh, there's Luis. There's Sean. See? Obviously somebody likes Red Bull out there. Hopefully Sean Grace can grow those wings and fly himself into the top 5. He's only 2 spots outside of that. Appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. Simtrax Broadcasting, that's where you can find us, simtraxbroadcasting.com even. Check that out. I've even got a website. If you guys want to tune in to C2C Racing Revolution, I will be hosting Doghouse Racing League, their first race of the season, coming up here on Thursday. We'll actually have Graceland Shootout Series on the week after that, starting on Saturday. So I have a schedule there, everything. If you want to sign up, looking to get broadcasted as well, guys, simtraxbroadcasting.com. Like us, support us, go ahead and comment, let me know what you got. And I do keep an eye out there on that live chat, guys. So let me know what you got going on out there on all my social media accounts, and tell me what you think. I believe we even make shorts. I think the last short we made was Mr. Download, Jeffrey Kemper in the 181, sitting 8th right now. Him getting sent to the moon. But we got all sorts of stuff there at Simtrax Broadcasting. I appreciate each and every one of you guys out there for the comments, the likes, and the subscriptions. Definitely appreciate you guys joining in. You can even set reminders. It'll even ping your phone when I go live. And then that way we can get everything squared away. Another place you can join is c2crl.com. There's definitely with some racing like this, I expect to see a whole lot of signups because I mean only three cautions, 22 to go in this race. That's not too shabby. We're doing really a hell of a lot better here tonight and putting on some really some fast laps out there on the track. Let me take a look here at our best times here so far up on the deal. Jeffrey Kemper with a solid 42nd lap. Not too bad. No thousandth for him. All right. Pace car is off. Meglin, Goldner. Let's get it going. Green flag is out. I think these guys can try again. Like I said, they've been on lap 22. Only got about 3 or 4 laps in before they started sliding around. John Hine going to have a lot of work to do again. Goldner in the front. Aiden Young giving him a shove. And Matthew Robinson with Turn 1 Racing setting 4th. Right now out of the top 5. 1 Toyota in the lead. 3 Fords following him. And Preston Cranmer in the Chevrolet in 5th. But now that changes. Stephen Goldner takes the lead on the bottom end. Does he hold it though? We've seen that outside line will hold with some speed. That's how he ended up getting the lead to begin with, but Stephen Goldner blocks him, and now into the lead. Stephen Goldner gets his first lead lap here at the Michigan International Speedway. 30, 50, and 69 are the car numbers sitting in the top 3. Matthew Robinson peeking outside, and Preston Cranmer sitting 5th. Right now, Preston Cranmer with a solid top run here so far. He's getting an angle, but we got contact here somewhere in the back of the field. Zach Chapman trying his best to stay clean. Sean Grace has gone from 8th back to 10th. Back and forth these guys go. Right now, Connor Ross trying to hold Sean Grace toward the bottom line, and it's working at this point. But now, Luis Meglin falling off as Aiden Young and Matthew Robinson both capitalized. 69 machine of Aiden Young, definitely a winner here tonight, looking to win another one. 69 now toward the top. Outside line is the way to work it. Stephen Goldner says all his wins are because of cautions, so we'll see if he can win one without cautions. Aiden Young on the outside has gathered the lead here so far. 15 decides, you know, that's a hell of an idea. I'm going to push him. 15 staying behind him, and right now 3 Fords battling it out here. 1, 2, and 3. Stephen Goldner regains the lead. But Robinson trying to find a way and who to really side with at this point. Definitely Jackson Lomax and Turn 1 Racing has got to yell into the ear of Matthew Robinson. Stick with the 69 of Gambler Motorsports team before Vanderbilt gets him. He got the memo here. 15 now pushing along. 30 of Stephen Goldner falling back, and Luis Meglin holding the outside line. Looks like Stephen Goldner's spotter's on. He heard him there. The 50 Toyota is on the outside. Definitely trying to keep that import from getting on the inside of the top 3 here. But away they go. Stella out there in the chat. Go Aiden. Yes, he is. He's moving. He's definitely got the lead, and he's going to start charging here. 15 machine best to try to stay behind him and keep him charging. Stephen Goldner, who had the lead before 2 laps ago, is now falling down into 4th. Preston Kramer just trying to reach out there, seeing if he can grab somebody's draft here to grab a hold of him. But no can do. Preston Kramer still battling here in 5th, but he's got Robert Lynch, who's a lot hungrier, trying to aim for a top 5. Moving. Everybody's single file so far except Zach Chapman. Zach Chapman working on the outside of Isaac Salas, but Isaac Salas is saying, hey man, move that Cool Ray machine here toward the top of me. We'll find some speed out there. Earlier race leader Mark Gilbert sitting 11th in his Ford, trying to peek around, looking around the backside of Zach Chapman. No can do. Robinson and Young 1 and 2. Meglin sitting 3rd. Definitely good dicing up here so far. If I'm not mistaken, the 76 machine and Mark Gilbert now down toward the bottom. This is not dirt, but he's going to try the slider, and no can do. Looks like Mark Gilbert's going to file in behind the 72 machine of Zach Chapman. And I got to admit, Zach Chapman doing a great job out here so far. Unfortunately, he's down 6 positions from where he originally started this race. Bet you he's wishing he had a little bit of luck like Sean Grace, who's up 19 positions, sitting in 8th. So a lot of good moving by some of these drivers, and you're just starting to see the switch up here. Just kind of the back and forth, and they're just having some trouble. So another Vanderbilt driver, here we go. Kyle Moonen back here, sitting now 15th, and we saw him up there battling for the lead, so a little weird pit stop for him. I will admit, Kyle Moonen last pit on lap 19. While everybody else pit on 22, he was one of the guys who showed up earlier before the caution. So he's now kind of behind the 8 ball here. Tim Chapman, Nathan Aldrich, Brad Wetzel, Jacob Butcher, John Rayner, and Terry Landis. These gentlemen are all laps down here. Definitely seeing if they can get moving here. But boy, oh boy, you want to talk about Matthew Robinson. Trying to see if he can push Aiden Young and get away. Luis definitely tracking in behind him. Look at the blue wheels. Can't miss that. As they're following behind. It's just trying to see how these guys. And now you see the calm down. So my question being at this point, fuel mileage. And how much fuel and how far can they make it will, kind of determine a couple of different things here. Really where they aim and kind of how they continue. Sean Grace now under fire by Zach Chapman. Zach Chapman starting to pick up a lot of pace here. Now he's got the 5. Oh, little blink there. Zach Chapman now keeps charging. Isaac Salas, come on. Getting right behind Jeffrey Kemper in the 181 Toyota. New paint job for him as well on his truck. Definitely seems to be finding some luck there. Gets a huge run here. Now Robert Lynch is going to be looking out his right side window as he passes. Not too bad here so far. Out of Jeffrey Kemper. Let's take a look back. There he goes. He now cleared him. Around he goes. And now Robert Lynch sitting 7th is going to be seen if he can find a line. Isaac Salas falling back. Can they get any more here as they go down the front stretch, leaving us with only 12 to go. This is going to be a tight squeeze here. As long as we can stay under green, we'll see how it goes. Let's see if we can have a chat with race control here. Brandon Ishkanyon, you got a copy on me here, man?
Yeah, man, I got you.
All right, what a wild race this has been. Not too many cautions here so far. I don't want to jinx it at all, but I will have to ask. Some of these guys have pit back on lap 22. One caution has happened between now and then. How is the fuel mileage here at Michigan?
I'm looking at 18 laps. 18 laps is what I've got through iRacing fuel window. So they're pushing it. We've got to be pitting up. Got to be pitting window here soon, I think.
All right, so some of these guys who have been in the draft are probably going to try to hang out there a little longer. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, I will let you get back to race control, man, as you have a caution on your hands.
I appreciate you, man.
All righty, everybody, and that's going to be Brandon Ishkanyon there, our RC here for tonight. 18 laps is what he was saying before we went under caution. You can see Aiden Young still flying up to the pace truck. Can't blame him. He's got to move. I would definitely want to be behind that pace car and be first in the pit while some of these other guys may be trying to catch up to the field. Aiden Young and Matthew Robinson, now's the biggest decision of the race. How much fuel? Do we take tires, if any? Somebody may out here and gamble for right sides. I would probably watch Kyle Moonen and Chris Schaefer right now because they've got a lot to prove. 11th position, Chris Schaefer, our points leader, sitting 13th. So you've got a lot of sliding around and kind of poking and picking at this one for the rest of the race. Now, I will say, full tank of fuel, I probably wouldn't poke around with this. If it's only 18 laps, 3 or 4 cautions could really flip this one upside down. Got a couple of drivers look like they're slinging by here. 76 and Mark Gilbert. Pit on lap 39. And Butch Baker pit on lap 39. Interesting to see some of these guys later on in the field. I think just due to their position are going to be pitting. So let's go ahead and wind it up here for our yellow flag and kind of figure out what transpired to bring this around. On the for our caution here. Just taking a look here at Tim Chapman, and maybe a bind up here. Oh, yeah, looked like somebody was pitting. At least he's Steven Bixler here. Yeah, that may be one of those communication things. I know hitting number 1 on the keyboard says I'm pitting in. Good idea to always radio up and let people know you're pitting in. I think somebody saw him ducking down. He came back up. And that may have done it for them. I will say, I think John Hine finally got a chance to avoid one here. And we're going to try to see if we can take a ride along here with John Hine. Actually, yes. I want to ride on top of his car. Let's take a ride on top and see what John sees in front of us. Good wreck avoidance there by John. But I will say, from that angle, that looked like Bixler came down. So I got to get another angle of how this one's kind of undoing itself from this angle. I want to see if we can see if I can get the chase drone here. There we go. Chase drone. Let's take a look at it here. Tim Chapman. Looking behind, Steven Bixler looks like... I thought it was because the guy pitting. It looks like Bixler in the 75 came down. Just took out the rest of the field on this one. Chapman getting the worst damage of it all. Look at Schaefer. Oh, man. All right, these cautions are kind of lengthy on the laps around. So we'll try giving another angle here. And I want to find Chris Schaefer in the 23 and see if we can take a sit along with him. Because he actually is way behind this whole thing, but still ends up to get in it. Let's take, passenger ride. Let's ride along with him here. Oh, the 75 rotate. Man. Good rotate. Holy cow. Way to be calm. Excellent. Way to be calm here. Definitely in that time of that squeeze. That was an ugly run. Especially sliding back up. So, Mark Gilbert, Butch Baker, and Luis Meglin here. 1, 2, and 3. 2 Fords and a Toyota sitting in the front. Our previous race leader, Aiden Young, now sitting in the 5th position. And if I'm mistaken, Jeremy Tate should be along to the outside of him, but Aiden Young not wanting to waste any time and fight his way back to the front. I wouldn't want to leave any gap either here in Michigan. Pace car lights remain on. So we're going to head around one more time here, bringing us to about 6 to go once we hit the line out there, and it's definitely looking pretty rough for some of these guys. But Chris Schaefer, back where he started this race. And I want to see if I can actually poke around and grab a hold of Chris Schaefer here. And let me see if we can grab a hold of him here. Chris Schaefer in the 23 Chevrolet. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right, man. I hope I didn't interrupt too much. I know I grabbed you kind of right in the middle of everything, kind of squeezing up double wide here. How do you keep calm out of a wreck like that when you saw the 75 rotating back up the track?
Let off the gas, man. Just watch where the cars are going and not freak out. and pray that anybody behind you sees the same thing I see.
Yeah, well, definitely. We took a ride along with you. We heard the let off. It looked like you had the opening, and then the opening closed again. And just having the patience to sit back, wait through it, and then go ahead and make your time and your plan of attack to push your way through. Great job here so far. I don't know if there is enough time. You only got about 6 laps to go here, so go ahead and give me your shout-outs, and let's get you going here before the pit road.
Man, I got to thank Matt, the boys at Turn 1, my boys at Inferno, you guys putting on the broadcast. I got a surprise for you on Thursday, by the way. And getting hooked, my longtime sponsor, A&J Custom Creations, Roger in the league, and pray I can stay where I'm at. I ain't got no tires.
Oh, boy. I hope you should have, bud. The points leader sitting 8th place, man. Keep the charge going.
Thank you, man.
All right, by Chris Schaefer there, and that's going to bring us to our guys here in the front. And you just heard, guys have taken tires and guys who haven't. Luis has not. Kyle Moonen, Jeremy Tate, Chris Schaefer. These guys have not taken tires. But Aiden Young and Preston Cranmer have, so I expect to see the moving coming out of them. Mark Gilbert and Butch Baker did take tires, but back on lap 39. The rest of the remaining laps before they came in were under caution. 6 to go here. 69 machines sending it. Oh, man, definitely a jam up here right now. Preston Cranmer trying to see if he can make the outside line faster than the inside. Aiden Young backs off just a little bit here. Hits the aerodynamic bubble. Going to get the run. Ooh, 69 check up. Big time. 97 loose. Butch Baker slides to the inside, and we're back under caution. And I guarantee you, some of these guys are happy it happened, and others are not. Drivers involved. Jeremy Tate. Uh-oh. Yeah, Jeremy Tate may immediately crash that one. John Rayner, I think, is another one who got hammered in that one. A lot of cars down pit road. Probably say some of these guys, I know we're getting pretty close to some incident issues here, but we'll definitely keep an eye out there and keep you updated on that if anybody ends up getting hammered out here. There's a little contact with the wall. Jeremy Tate, rotates off the wall, and Rayner catches him. Boy, John Rayner has been almost in a bumper car here tonight. Yeah, now what I want to do is actually keep an eye here on Jeremy Tate and kind of see what causes him to ride up into the wall. He looked like his car was doing fine, just late. Yeah, just like a late entry. Just something happened. He kind of went up into the wall. Yeah, and then John Rayner kind of flips over top of him. All right, so we always try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I want to take a peek at his steering wheel as well as we take a ride along with Jeremy Tate in the 8 Toyota and see if the steering wheel straightens out here. Uh-oh. Notice the right front damage before we get in the turn. Okay, that may have actually been before. So bear with me just a second. I actually want to see if some contact happened way, way before, causing this problem. Because Sean Grace was up here at least in the top 10. And something happened. Let's keep an eye. Sean Grace. In that rowdy machine. Here he is toward the top. Matthew Robinson on the inside. There's Stephen Goldner. Right there. Contact. Let's see if we can drum up a better angle of this one. Because I don't know if, a better way to say it, I don't know if Goldner put him in the wall here. Take a look at it, top side. Oh, nope. Actually, that was all Grace. He's straightened out right there. Heavy damage to the right side of that race car. And you can see it probably affected his turning heading into 3. It didn't rotate. Bam, into the wall again. And once it finally popped off the wall, a little overcorrection, down he went, and then collected him and John Rayner. Wow. All right. The woes continue for some of the drivers out there. Isaac Salas actually ended up in some trouble as well earlier in that lap. We'll see if I can pop back here real quick and see if I can see what happened to Isaac Salas. I don't know if something happened to him. Trying to see if I can find maybe where an incident had happened. Yeah, I'm not finding anything right off the bat. Hopefully out there in the chat, Isaac Salas will light me up here just a little bit and see if he can hint to me as to why Mr. Isaac Salas is still down pit road. All right, let's get through our top 10 here. Mark Gilbert, Butch Baker, Preston Kramer, Luis Meglin, and Aiden Young. Kyle Moonen, Stephen Goldner, so watch Vanderbilt Racing the team up here. Matthew Robinson and Sean Grace, and that should run us out to Chris Schaefer. Now, I know I said that kind of out of order. They're switching back and forth here. Out there on the track, Mark Gilbert. He's been leading a lot of this lap, or actually a lot of this race, pardon me, but he's going to have to hold him off probably in 2 laps here. This may, I don't know if this qualifies as green-white checkered on this run. But Sean Grayson, the 76, is going to get taken off here, and let's see what he can do. Heading into turn 1. Oh, no, look out. Meglin turned around here. Tim Chapman. Oh, boy. I got to admit, I don't like the way that one looked. I got to admit, I didn't like the way that one looked. Something happened right on the restart. Contact was made. Up they went onto the racetrack, and then that kind of blew each other to pieces here. Now, I'm going to try to always do this as a vindication, trying to see if we can kind of hammer this one out. 24, Kyle Moonen, contact with the 97. And 97, nowhere to go. 24 almost looked like he knew to hit the brakes. Look at Aiden Young sliding underneath. Oh, boy. Well, we had a solid first half of the race here. And now we're just kind of, we're crashing each other again. But we'll give it a shot. I actually want to take a ride along here with Kyle Moonen and see if he lets off the brake here. I got to know. I got to know if he lets off and what, you know, once the contact was made, if he knew to hit the brakes. Let's go. Fast as happens. You see the carnage behind you. Matthew Robinson just in the right area. Getting underneath that one. Right now, eyeballs are on this man in the 24 Chevrolet, Kyle Moonen. Oh, he's had some trouble back and forth here in this league. Couple black flags from some jumped restarts. He's almost to that position. Sitting third, Preston Cranmer in the second. And Mark Gilbert still continues the race. Now, Gilbert, Cranmer, Moonen, Robinson, and Aiden Young. Looking good here so far. Stephen Goldner, Chris Schaefer, we talked to him. Sean Grace is still in 8th. Up 19 positions. Jeffrey Kemper, and look at that. John Hine. Resurrecting his race here, back up to 10th after that wild spin out we saw earlier in the race here tonight. Single file these guys will be. Double file once we get back to the line. Now I know some of these guys tumbling back and forth, kind of question, you know, hey man, what's the best way to be? Well, I was talking earlier about that the fuel or whatnot. You know, that would probably be the best way to be. Like I was saying, is taking that full tank of fuel. I couldn't imagine not doing a full tank of fuel if we're going to be doing cautions like this toward the end. Is we've had more than 3 cautions here in the last 10 laps than we did most of the race. So half of it is equated here to the final 10 laps of the race. And it's starting to become kind of kind of tough out there. Kind of tough. I know back and forth here we go. You know, kind of really what's the best angle to go about this, but we'll see if I can go ahead and let me grab Zach. I haven't talked to Zach in a little while. Let's see if we can grab hold of Zach Chapman here into the booth. Zach Chapman, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, Patrick?
Man, oh man, what a race this has become. We've got more cautions here in the last 10 laps than we have really equal to the whole race. What's the key to staying out of danger here?
I don't know. Just try to avoid it. Sadly, I don't think we're done yet. People were giving each other a lot of room in the beginning, but now it seems like that's out the window here. People don't go in the start. You know, it's time to make it 3 wide. It's time to go.
Yeah, definitely for certain. Now, you really can't blame them in a sense, but does have to be some sort of race etiquette, I would say. You know, you just got to give that guy the room. If he beats you, he beats you. There's no sense in putting you in the wall and ruin a few other guys' races, which unfortunately, actually, I believe Tim Chapman, your dad, I think he's gotten just about every one except 2, of these cautions here tonight.
Yeah, poor dad. He didn't have much luck tonight, but maybe it'll turn around for him on Thursday here, next Tuesday.
Well, we'll definitely be rooting for that. Zach, give me your shout-outs here real quick. You're about to go into green.
All the teammates at Gambler, Andy at Cool Ray, you up here, you do a great job with Sim Tracks, and everybody here at Coast to Coast.
Thank you, sir. Pace car is off. Zach Chapman in the 72 Chevrolet. Good luck, bud.
Thanks.
All right, away he goes. Zach Chapman, we've got him back in the truck. Look at that, on time before they hit the restart zone, which Mark Gilbert's going to take charge of, and away they go. Preston Cranmer has got to figure out that jump line here because Kyle Moonan's in the spot. Kyle Moonan slides up to the second position here. Right now, Chevrolet battling another one. Aiden Young has got to figure out how to get his Ford through here. Matthew Robinson probably going to, since these two guys teamed up earlier in the race, I expect the 15 to follow behind the 69. But at this point, that is a moot point as we are now under our 7th caution. Jacob Butcher caught in this one. 20th place is now sitting down pit road with a wrecked truck. I'll tell you what, these boys are definitely giving me a run for my money here tonight. I'm trying to make sure we're talking to the right people, and we're now we are past that 50-lap mark here. Heading into our 7th caution of the race. Let's take a look at it. Jacob Butcher. Here comes 75 of Bixler into him. Bixler been in a lot of trouble here tonight. So, Jacob Butcher, I think he may just be going ahead and wiping his race on that one. Definitely some woes continue for Jacob Butcher here. Definitely can't blame him one bit on that. I will be frank. Jacob Butcher right now is sitting 3rd in the points, sitting with 215, only 2 points ahead of Jeremy Tate, who is dealing with just as many problems. Jeremy Tate, I believe, is still down pit road, finishing 25th. Butcher may be 26th in this run here tonight. And it's horrible to see some of these guys getting kind of mashed to pieces. But if you're somebody like Zach Chapman and Roland Olson, who are sitting in 5th position, right now this is perfect. This is going to allow these guys to move up, seeing they are only 5 points behind, so this should move Zach Chapman into the 3rd position. Roland Olson did not show here tonight. We'll probably see him for the Xfinity race over Extreme E-Speed, I believe it was Extreme E-Speed TV with Travis Piercefield on Thursday. You'll see these guys line up again here at the C2C League. Looks like we got one wave around here. That should be, if I'm not mistaken, should be the 87 machine, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of drivers out here so far. Jacob Butcher, Brad Wetzel, Tim Chapman, Jeremy Tate, Isaac Salas, Connor Ross, all out of the race. Well, sitting down pit road, I would assume any of these guys who get knocked out are playing spotter for the rest of their teammates. And it's going to be kind of dicing it up here pretty soon. on this race, almost on that 1 hour mark here in the truck league here. Preston Cranmer trying to see if he can get anything going. Cranmer sitting 9th in points right now, sitting, really has a 3rd place finish on his hands if he can maintain. This will add him a 2nd top 5 on the year, which I'm sure he would really appreciate getting that. And double file, we should be going here. If not, I would be protesting something else, saying, man, get me back up front, because the heck if I want to go single file here. So Kyle Moonen and Stephen Goldner with Vanderbilt Racer trying so close. One sitting 2nd, the other sitting 5th. If Aiden Young dials out of the way, or if Aiden Young makes a move and the 24 and the 30 link up, this may be a deadly duo here. Getting those 2 vehicles together. So a lot of fast cars here in the front. Sean Grace, after a poor showing last week in the 27 Toyota here, he's got a lot of work to do. Jeffrey Kemper on the bottom. You see Chris Schaefer. You see him bucking here. That 23 points leader sitting 7th. He is over top of Sean Grace. Sean Grace at 242 and Chris Schaefer at 306. So right now, if these guys finish 7th and 8th, they should be pretty confident in maintaining position. They got to be careful, actually, of Kyle Moonen and Stephen Goldner here, who are sitting 7th and 8th in the points. But we're all praying out here. This is going to be hopefully the final restart here. If we end up back under caution, of course, we'll bring in Brandon Ishkanyon, the race control, and talk to him about how many green-white checkers we got left, because this may just go on to the end. 76 of Mark Gilbert's Ford has been unfazed by the cautions or the green flags here tonight as he remains in the lead. Green flag is out, maybe. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let's see, Mark Gilbert, Kyle Moonen here. Definitely an even restart here. I guess he didn't want to use the restart zone here at Michigan. I believe something may be messed up with Michigan in the restart zone, if I remember right. Checking my notes here, and it is. So they're going off of Barney. 69 machine of Aiden Young. Boy, he is in a bad spot. Here it comes. Here they go. Come on. Who hold? The entire top 10 just got wrecked out. The entire top 10 just got knocked out. John Hine is now in 2nd. Stephen Goldner somehow survives. Has some front end damages. Now has the lead. And Stephen Goldner may be coming with weak wins back to back here. I almost don't know what to say. This is insane. How? We'll go over it. Well, let's just say that. We'll go over it here. Let's take another look at it from the top side. In this clutch of cars, and I do want to take a peek. Kyle Moonen sent it here on the outside. And contact gets made between here and the 76. Now, I've got to figure out how to find Kyle Moonen here, and let's see if I can find us a solid area of, and you know what, let's see if I can get that, there we go, there's the drone. Get nice and close here. And take a look at this 24. Aiden Young follows behind, and it may be a net code here. If you see the 24 snugs up right on the outside of the 76. No contact, 76 looks like he's already turning. And I don't know if the 76 was maybe looking to block. And the rest is history. Preston Cranmer trying to ride the outside of this, but the 76 folds over. Jeffrey Kemper. Zach Chapman squeaks through, but I think Chapman gets it here later in the end. Boom. Grace. There we go. Continuing the wreck. Chapman gets hammered. Sean Grace is hammered. Chris Schaefer up backwards. Boom. Again. The drivers included in that one was almost every driver out of the top 10, not just in the top 10, but the top 10 in the points running. And there is no... Yeah, you hate to see it so far at the end of the race to watch the entire thing get scrubbed here. It's kind of just... It's odd. It's odd. And I know there are a lot of tempers flaring right now, and these guys have got to be beside themselves wondering, what in the world do I have to do to get a solid finish here in the Asphalt League? Because this is terrible here. I don't know. The net code that catches the 24 and the 76. I don't know what happens with Preston Cranmer. Preston Cranmer squeezes up, and I don't think Preston knew that even Matt Robinson was here. Because you see even Preston wraps up and collects there. That's the double whammy. Kyle Moon and the 76 were there, but I think once Preston caught the front of Matt Robinson, it caught Aiden, and then it just compiled the rest of it. Those two may have just ended up toward the wall, but then just an inside wreck. And look at Stephen Goldner, hanging out near the wall like nothing happened. I mean, just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing here. Definitely, my chat is lighting up something fierce out there. Trouble, 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 I assure you guys. I know. I know. Matthew Robinson, I will see you Wednesday, my man. I believe 15th is where you're going to end here tonight. Hate to see it for you, man. I know it was just difficult. I will say that I think some of it may have been some spotter issue. I personally use my Crew Chief or the Crew Chief app. I don't use the iRacing. It one's kind of laggy. The Crew Chief app, he'll call you by your name. And you can even tune of how much clearance you want before he tells you you're clear. And I think some of this may have helped. If somebody had a fender or a bumper on you and these guys have now made contact, things like this could be avoided. But that's why I end up using it. It kind of helps straighten things out and try to limit this kind of thing right toward the end. So, hats off to whoever's running the points for the Coast2Coast Racing League, because you've got your hands full on this one, because everybody in the front moving to the back and everyone from the back moving now to the front. John Hines, Stephen Goldner, front row, restart zone, away we go. Here's Stephen Goldner and John Hines, and John C getting a great run here on the front. Holy cow, where in the world did that 71 get pulled away? I don't know if the 30 ended up missing a gear. Stephen Goldner falling way back here. John Hines in the front now battling with the 58. But if I'm not mistaken, we're under caution again. Nathan Aldrich. And the 514 Chevrolet is 9th caution. I'm almost beside myself. This is getting pretty bad. We are a couple laps over the top here, but let's roll it back because I think somebody missed a shift. And if that's the case, I can't blame them in the least bit. Continuing from the top, it looks like Preston Cranmer tries to retain his position here behind Robert Lynch, and we know that's a mess for disaster, especially with the amount of damage to that race car. If there was not communication, but look, see Preston Cranmer, see how slow his truck's getting going? Boom. 514 makes a good measurable hit here. Aiden Young, quick dive. Sends Preston around. Watch the rest of the field. Ducking and dodging. Oh, man. Schaefer, nowhere to go. No. Schaefer gets hammered here. Phew. I think that would probably be what gets some people out here is the ones who are involved in the wreck are the ones that survive. I think that's what always blows my mind sometimes, is just that different angle of when it's happening. You know, I mean, we'll stay here on Preston Cranmer here. Let's take a look at the 07 and watch. He survives out all this. The wrecking continues, and he survives. So that's just that's iRacing, but we are in for iPacing here. It's going to be definitely a pile up from a lot of drivers here. Right now, John Hine is in the lead. But I will say, I think the end is here. And that may have done it. Let's see if I can find something here. What's going on here? Because I'm showing we have a checkered flag. John Hine, Nick Schell, and Steven Goldner. Right now are our race winners. 1, 2, and 3. I believe we ran out of some green-white checkers there here toward the end. And that's going to do it. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So official results here. In this one. John Hine, Schell, and Steven Goldner. 1, 2, and 3. Robert Lynch came fourth. Pat Boyce up 20 positions, got fifth. Aiden Young in the sixth. Zach Chapman, no, we talked to him. He at least got a top 10 here. Sitting seventh. Jim Bowie in the eighth. Preston Cranmer ninth. And Chris Schaefer, after that last mashup, ended up 10th. John Hine winning the race. Holy cow. I'm not saying he doesn't have the chance to do it, but talk about how many wrecks we saw John get into. And he capitalizes on this. He's able to work his way out of the situation and get his way back to the front. That is absolutely mind-blowing here at this track. Yeah, this is something here. This is something. All right. We'll see if we can get our drivers out here. For our rundown with all our guys out there. See if we can get caught up here with Steven Goldner. In the 34. All right, let's see if we can go ahead and get it. Steven Goldner, surprised by the ending of this race.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that was a big pile up there at the end. It cost a lot of people some good spots, but it paid out for me in the end, I guess.
Well, there was more than one pile up. I won't ask you which one you were thinking of because I'm probably thinking of both of them here. You won last race and another top podium position, up 25 here for really that third shot. Bandybuilt Racing seems to have these Asphalt League racing down. Now, do you guys not?
Yeah, I'd say so. It would have been Lacey's at a hockey game tonight, so he missed tonight. But yeah, I think we definitely have something for some of these asphalt guys.
All right, man. I just don't. It is so wild to see how the turnouts of these go. Just and kind of sitting back, kind of figuring out what happens next is going to be so odd. I would say the easiest way to say it. But Michigan being a super speedway, you seem pretty confident. You did well here. Once again, another back to front battle. We head to Nashville. Unsure on the super speedway part, but we head to Nashville. And how confident are you feeling in either one of those tracks?
I've never ran a truck at Nashville, but I also won't be there. I'll be working all next week, so I'll be taking the week off. Hopefully, whatever race we have after that, hopefully I'll be there for that.
Holy cow. Well, I guess a sigh of relief for some of the drivers out there because they may have a shot to get into a podium position here. Great job, Steven Goldner in the 34. Give me your shout-outs here about Vanderbilt Racing and all the fans out here watching you.
Yeah, I got to thank all those guys for sure. It's a heck of a lot of fun on Discord. Tonight was a little bit rough with all the wrecks, but it's still a lot of fun hanging out with those guys. Follow.com, Wegman Brothers, Velocity Race Designs, Dirt Trucking, you guys for the broadcast, Roger and everyone with the league.
Excellent job tonight, Stephen Goldner. And I'll see you in a couple weeks then, bud. It's gonna be I'm gonna miss you. I like seeing you out of your racing. You kind of really put on a show coming from the back to the front just each and every week. I don't know how you do it, but good wreck avoidance and staying out and staying clean, man. Good job.
Well, maybe I'll talk to one of the Benny Boat guys, see if they can go back to the front and take my spot for me.
All right. Well, I'll keep my eyeballs out there for Kyle Moonen. I know he's tough.
All right, right on.
All right, Stephen Goldner, thank you.
Yep.
All right, Stephen Goldner. Here we go. And that's going to bring our second place driver out there, Nick Schell. And I got to admit, I don't think I've ever talked to Nick before. Let me see if we can get Nick Schell. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Definitely, you caught me off guard with your Discord name there, bud, but we'll keep it there. Dude, what a wild run it was here tonight. 14 positions up in your 58 Chevrolet. How'd it feel out there?
It was good. I had a little misfortune at the first and I had to use both my fast repairs. So I was just laying back and I used up a set of tires I shouldn't have. So I was having to lay back and just play it smart until the end. And those late cautions really helped. And I got new tires and it just really pushed when other people couldn't push as much.
All right. Well, I'll definitely trip you up since I don't do it normally. How do you know when to take a fast repair and when to just say, you know what, let's just go back out there because there's probably going to be another caution?
When you see that smoke going and your oil temperature going, you're about to drop it. You're about to leave it on the backstretch. I'm thinking it's pretty sure you're going to have to use one.
Well, definitely these cars need a lot of airflow to keep the temperatures down, oil and the coolant, but it's that is definitely one way to say it. I love the way you think about it. I don't see you racing out here a whole lot, Nick. We head to Nashville next week. Shall we see you there?
Yes, sir. I'll be there. I had to take a little bit of time, and then I actually went over the IR limit for a while in sprint cars. So when I left the league, I couldn't come back, but now I'm back under, and I can run full time now.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, with a second place finish here tonight, we'll definitely want to see you continuing back. Now, I will say, we do head to Nashville next week. I talked to Stephen Goldner. I don't know if it's the super speedway or if it's the regular race. At either one of those tracks, how confident are you feeling there?
I'm pretty good on the short tracks. I'm always better on dirt, but I can hold my own on a truck.
Alrighty, well, I personally hope we're at the Nashville Super Speedway because I would like to see a great concrete 1.5-mile drive, and that definitely brings a lot of speed. And I tell you what, man, that tunnel turn coming out of through 2 at Nashville is definitely loosey-goosey and very tricky. So go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, man. Let's get you locked and loaded for next week.
All right, I gotta thank my new team, Turn One Racing, Inferno Motorsports for my dirt side, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, and C2C for letting me back in.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Nick Schell, good job, bud, and I will see you next week, if not sooner.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to do it for our second place finisher. Of course, I do want to talk to our great John Hine, race winner here of tonight. You want to talk about on the move and luck. Luck. And I tell you what, the luckiest out of the Gambler Motorsport team had to be the number 71 Ford of John Hine. Now, I'm going to start off on the bad foot here, John. And how confident were you feeling with a race win here tonight after the spin out on lap 26?
Man, that spin out was wild. I don't think anybody hit me. It felt like air pushed me around. And I've not felt that before in iRacing. But it felt like somebody, honestly, it felt like somebody packed the air on the left rear, and it just around it went. But after that happened, I didn't get a whole lot of damage, and at that point it was like, okay, just salvage what I can get, and then little by little I was like, well, okay, I'm still getting up. I was dead on the straightaway. I had no straightaway speed, and man, what was it? The second to the last caution or third to last caution, the seas parted, and somehow I ended up on the front row. And Patrick, all the bad luck I've had in these races over the last couple of weeks, man, just got wiped away in one fell swoop. I can tell you that.
Well, I was going to say, you even ended up with some bad luck during the pro lates, and now you come out with a race win here in the asphalt. I mean, talk about wild here, bud.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad night. We got a win in the midgets early on. I was able to make some ground, come back up through that pro late race, and then win this one. No complaints. You know, I know there's still a lot of inexperience here on this track. Guys are learning, and that we had a lot of carnage there at the end, but they're getting better, and we're getting better as a league, and I think we will continue to improve on that front. But man, when you do get to the end like that in green white checker, I'll be honest, it's a roll of the dice. I mean, you know, so many things become out of your control at those points, and you just got to kind of remember that. No sense in getting mad about it. Everybody's all taking, and there's no give, and yeah, that everybody's under the same boat in that. So feel blessed, just lucky. I just lucky. But it's a shame that lottery for $1 billion just got drawn, because hell, I would feel like I need to go buy a lottery ticket tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, but your luck may have run out though.
Yeah, I know. Next race, I'm gonna get killed on lap 1 and end my night, I'm sure. But yeah, you know what? Just to get one of these, there are some really, really good drivers in here, and to just get one, I'm over the moon. That outside of plate races, I was going to be really surprised. I think I'm maybe a fifth to 10th place driver. With a little luck, I can get a little further up. But on plate races, I feel like I got a chance to win any one of the plate races. So to grab one of these, I just man, it's not sinking in. I've not been blown away by a win in a long time, and I'm blown away.
Yeah, definitely getting that truck over 203 miles an hour tonight. Definitely had to be feeling awesome there in the driver's seat. You did say non-restrictor plate races. We do head to Nashville next week. How confident are you feeling heading into that?
I like Nashville. I've ran a lot of tour mod races there, and this is gonna, people are gonna take away my dirt cred here, but I've ran a couple of ARCA races there. I like the track, but I'm going to tell you, that's probably going to be on the difficulty level. That's probably going to be the most difficult track we go to, because coming out of turn 2, there's a nice little bump, or excuse me, going into 1, there's a little bump. There's a little bit of a bump coming out of 2 that'll upset the back of the trucks. Coming out of 4, turns 3 and 4 can be 2 line, but the guy on the bottom has to be real careful, or they're going to wash up and take the guy that is outside into the wall. So, strap up next week. That's going to be an interesting race to watch.
Oh no. Well, the way you describe it, that probably narrows down my Nashville guess. That's not the super speedway. You guys are heading to the fairground.
Oh, are we heading to the fairground?
Unknown. It just says Nashville, and I'm puckering.
Oh boy. Now if we're going to the super speedway, that's a little better. It's a more narrow, which guys are going to have to learn to lift and feather the throttle to not wash up. You'll get aero push there. But if we're going to the fairgrounds, yeah, fairground. So sorry, I didn't mean to give you a heart attack there. I can't imagine we're going to the fairgrounds. Now that you say that.
Well, 75 laps. It's definitely a toss-up at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would be stunned if we're going to the fairgrounds. Just when you said that, I'm used to going to the fairgrounds and running the bull ring there to Nashville. I forgot they just added the Nashville super speedway here recently. So
oh man,
yeah, but the fairgrounds is fun if you know how to do it. I'll tell you that right up. Nashville fairgrounds is an absolute blast to run. But yeah, for 30 some odd trucks, yikes is all I would say.
Yes. All right, admin of the Xfinity League, you'll be definitely joining these guys up again on Michigan. Give me your shout-outs for the Gambler Motorsports team here, John, as your luck has really come to a point here.
Yeah, I'd just like to say hi to Andy over at Coolray and let him know we're thinking about him and all that. He's been on the road a whole lot, so he hasn't been here. But we thank him for everything he's done for the league and for the Gambler team. And want to thank the cruise shop. They've been on the car for forever, and it's nice to carry my mother-in-law's legacy on the car. And want to thank my wife. She lets me do this all the time. Want to thank you for the broadcast and my Gambler teammates, man. We just added Jeff Kemper, and what a good dude, and fit in seamlessly. We just have so much fun down there, and I can't thank those guys enough for all the good times we've had over the last couple of years.
All right, John Hine in the 71 machine. You got it. Man, just your luck is just so good here tonight. Not in the dirt, but man, you got it squared away here in the asphalt.
I got the win earlier tonight in the dirt, so.
So you were the midget winner.
Yeah, I was the midget winner, so I went 2 for 3 tonight. So
Look at you. Look at you.
so yeah, I'm in a good mood tonight, and I don't have to go, smack the cats around, beat the kids, and so no, oh yeah, I'm in a good mood tonight. So
Excellent.
That's good. That's good.
Excellent. John Hine, appreciate talking to you, man.
Yep, no problem. Take care, buddy.
Take it easy.
Yep.
All right, everybody. John Hine in the number 71 Ford, Nick Schell in the 58 Chevrolet, and Steven Goldner in his number 30 Ford. Closest Toyota that got close to anywhere in the top 10, Jim Bowie actually nailed 8th position. So that's the closest any Toyota got toward the top for tonight's run here tonight. From Simtrax Broadcasting, Coast to Coast Racing League. We appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. Definitely we'll have a lot more going on tomorrow. Guys, if you're looking for me, Racing Revolution, we're going to be heading to the Circuit of the Americas, COTA. So if you're into road racing, keep your eyeballs on that one. If you're in the Coast to Coast Racing League, of course, that'll be held for the Coolray Hometown Heroes on Wednesday. Lincoln, let me take a peek here. Look at that. These guys are heading back to Lincoln Speedway for a double points night. That's going to be a good shootout there. Extreme eSpeed TV, of course, will be hosting that one, as long as the Flatline Racing Bodies Thursday Night Thunder. They'll be heading to Weed Sport as well. Might be looking at the wrong week here. Yep, they'll be heading to Michigan for that run. So, guys, don't forget to tune in, C2CRL.com and SimtraxBroadcasting.com for all your needs here at the broadcasting studio. Patrick Morrison in the booth, signing off for tonight. I will catch you guys later, so be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll catch all you guys next time.